Welcome into Shmokin Hot Takes. We may have seen the last of Nick Chubb. Baker Mayfield is that dude, and the Bears might end up with another number one overall. This is going to be a good one. Let's get Shmokin'. Shmokin'.
Shmokin'.
Shmokin'.
Welcome into Shmokin' Hot Takes. I'm your host, Biggie J, and I got here with me Koop.
Hey, yo.
And Kata.
Hey.
Woof, woof. Thanks for joining us all today. It is, you're probably hearing this on the 21st of September.
Wow,
Thursday.
getting specific with this one.
We just want to let the people know when we're recording.
I guess so.
Before we get into things,
If you're listening to this on a Friday, we don't fuck with you.
no, we love those day oneers, baby. They're hitting, they got the notification on, hit the bell, and then they see the pod.
That's right. They said,
Up.
new Shmokin' Hot Takes out? Jumping out of that bed.
We see it. Our viewership in the first 30 seconds. We know who you are. Keep doing it.
It does tell us your names, not gonna lie.
What time is this one coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, whenever I get it to Prophet J over there.
That's what it gets sent to me. So
Let's hope sooner rather than later.
hopefully,
Yeah.
definitely before the game.
Before noon, hopefully.
Before the game. And yeah, like I said, drop a follow on Spotify. Give us a review. Give us a rating. I actually heard. I went into a timeline. I saw the future, and it was anyone that listened to the podcast but then didn't follow.
Oh, what happened?
Their team lost. Their team lost this week. It just happened. Like
Their sports team or like their
all teams.
fantasy team?
All teams.
Every team that they were related to,
Wow.
they all lost. So you're gonna lose fantasy. You're gonna lose your NFL team's gonna lose. Your baseball team might lose.
Jeez.
So yeah, make sure you follow and review. But yeah, it was a crazy week of football.
Oh, man. Crazy.
So many storylines. Injuries continue to play such a
Yikes.
heavy part in this game, and it reminds us just how brutal and devastating football can be.
Gives you a heavy heart, for sure.
Yes, a heavy heart. And we're mostly referring to Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Gone down. Browns versus Steelers Monday night.
Yeah. I just poured one out into my mouth for him. Like, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was very sad to see. I mean, we talked about him a lot on this pod. One of our favorite running backs. I think we all might have had him at the number 2 in the NFL.
Consensus number 2.
He was mine. Yeah,
Definitely. And he's just one of those guys that you just watch this guy play. You love how he runs. You love how he plays. You love the character of the guy, too. I don't think anybody could talk any smack about this guy. And
no.
To see that happen to someone like that. Like, I was kind of devastated, not gonna lie. Like, when I got a text from one of our boys, C-Dubs, I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, you don't want to know what happened. You don't want to see it.
Yeah, since I've watched it in slow-mo.
No.
Like 4 or 5 times.
No.
4 or 5 times.
Dude, that makes me...
I know.
That video made me want to... I was in an Uber with my coworkers,
Yeah.
and I looked at it, and I wanted to barf.
I agree. And I'm glad the NFL did the right thing. They didn't re-show that at all. They said this injury is too graphic to be replayed. And I think that's the right thing to do. With any injury, honestly.
Yeah, I remember when Dak, what was it? He broke his leg or his foot, and they just kept showing that over and over. And I'm like,
just turned like 90.
I'm like,
like,
gosh, please.
The other one that pissed me off was the Tua when he got concussed.
fencing.
And his fingers.
Dude, that's scary.
Yeah.
They showed that so many times.
That was scary.
So I'm glad they're on their game.
Yeah.
This
Like
type of thing now.
Masochist that used to work for the NFL in the replay booth. Yeah, obviously really sad. I mean, we don't have to beat around the bush when I say, I don't want to speak for you both, but Nick Chubb is that offense, is that team basically.
Well, we'll get to that.
And
Yeah. I agree. We'll get to that a little bit.
Well, a little thing this is what I was talking about when I was like, we didn't get to do our Hall of Fame episode, like players playing now. What I was going to say, if Chubb continued on
his
the
trajectory,
trajectory he was definitely going to be a Hall of Fame player. And with this injury, I don't think you can say he is now. If he was going to play a couple more years doing the same thing, you could definitely say that he would have been. But just this kind of throws a whole question mark on what's next for Nick Chubb. And if anybody that can come back from this, I think it's Nick Chubb. Because same sort of thing kind of happened in Georgia. I don't know if you guys saw that injury.
It's this. I haven't seen the injury, but I heard it was the same knee.
Same knee.
Like I heard it was potentially even worse of an injury back then.
It was.
And so that's what makes me nervous. Like yes, he's done it before, but I think the problem is that he has done it before.
But I think the thing is that this is the type of dude, if it's going to happen to anybody that's going to have a bounce back, it's going to be Nick Chubb. You know, that's just what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like people heal better and better these days. So
seriously,
yeah, I don't think we should write him off yet.
No,
I don't either.
I have optimism.
But I mean, with the damage that it's done, this could be like a year plus thing.
Oh yeah,
like he could miss a good chunk of next season as well.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's what really sucks.
Yeah,
but it's just the length of the injury.
At the end of the day, we're rooting for you, buddy, and we're looking forward to your comeback.
Yeah, Nick Chubb, I know you're listening. We're praying for you.
He's a friend of the pod. So.
Friend of the pod.
I went to school with him, so
yeah. We'll get some sound bites later with him in it, maybe. And spoiling on a future episode, Smokers got a little insight into what we're gonna do down the line.
Right.
Probably this off season. We already got the off season content going.
I know. We plan this out like months ahead, guys.
Yeah, you guys don't even know what's coming. But yeah, I mean, just to quickly talk about the running backs in general, the landscape. Yeah. I mean, we saw Saquon, the Barkster. He went down with what could have been a bad ankle.
Right. Another injury you hate to see is just like when the best players get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want any player to get hurt, but when it's the best players, it hurts the whole league.
Yeah. The quality of the game.
You know, quality of the game goes down, but luckily, I think he escaped with. Something much more minor
sounds
to
like
what he's gone through before.
Yep.
So I don't see him out too long.
Yeah, and speaking of teams that need their running backs, Barkley's definitely one of those too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of our co-hosts here, or I guess our host, he said Barkley was your
offensive player of the year. So that hurts his chances. You never want to predict injuries in these kinds of things. But that does. I mean, hey man. All the running backs are just getting destroyed this year. Yeah. So I mean, it just goes to show like that's why these guys aren't making any money, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Saquon, he's gonna avoid some ugly games with the Giants coming up. I mean,
yeah.
Does he really want to play that 49ers game?
Probably not.
I don't know if I would.
Well, they said he might actually play. Did you see
I know.
And then it's like, you got 5 days to heal?
He's like, no, you know what, I'm good.
You got Wolverine blood?
I have him in Dynasty, and I was like, am I going to play Saquon?
Right.
I'm playing Koop this week.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, am I even playing Saquon if he's active? And I was like, probably not.
Probably not. That's going to be a very ugly game.
You can't do that.
So, yeah, and then the other piece of running back news we had, break only a few hours ago.
Yep.
Cam Akers traded to the Minnesota Vikings.
That's right.
I mean, in my opinion, speaking just of fantasy,
I
don't touch any of these guys.
Coming from that, too. I have Akers on my team. And when I heard that was probably one of the better places for him to go because you got kind of a mid-off competition going on there now. You know, Madison.
I've seen
the definition of
he's not. Madison's not that great, but Akers.
The balls are slippery over there, man.
Go ahead.
I actually disagree. I mean, I know that Madison's had a rough start.
Yeah.
But I look at the history of how he's performed in Minnesota, and he's done great in the past. And for Dalvin Cook.
Right.
I still believe in the guy. I don't think we've seen much from Cam Akers. I mean, obviously they traded for him for a reason.
Well,
to be fair, play a little bit, but
the last 6 games of last season, Cam Akers went off, didn't he?
He did. Yep, he popped off. But...
So I mean, he does have the potential. I think he's had the history, but if we see what we saw from 2 weeks ago. Well, no, from Cam Akers.
From Cam Akers, yeah.
2 weeks ago. That's why he got traded because he's a bum, and then you got Kyron Williams, who I keep hearing about in all the other pods. You know, he looks great. That's why Cam Akers got traded.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I'm a little biased as an Alexander Madison owner.
Of course, that's where that's coming from.
I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. But I genuinely think we've seen a lot more from Madison as far as success in this league than Cam Akers. But yeah, it'll be interesting what happens.
Maybe the equipment manager for the Vikings was playing against Madison that week in fantasy.
Yeah,
could be.
And so maybe he greased up the balls.
Oh, is that what happened?
Maybe.
Like when Jefferson caught that ball and it went out of the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah,
it's because of that greasy ball.
It's Greasegate.
Greasegate. We called it here. Shmokers. We called that here.
Watch this come out in like 2 years.
An old Netflix documentary called Grease Skate, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna have somebody cast as us. Yeah. Ooh, that'll be fun.
We'll probably be famous podcasters by then.
Yeah,
so
right.
That'll be a big story.
Yeah, that'll be huge. All right, so
well, we gotta talk about Hunt.
Oh yeah, Kareem Hunt.
Let's not.
Why did we go Akers?
I know.
Hunt?
Well, that one broke a little bit.
Why did we go
today,
Chubb to
right?
Saquon to Akers?
It
to
doesn't
Hunt?
matter.
We got the Browns.
We're all over the place, Shmokers.
We got the Browns on just the bookends, I guess.
Because the Browns really don't deserve to be. Oh, actually, no, the Browns do.
We're giving them a lot of attention here.
Yeah. Well, K-Dog, how about you talk about Hunt then, since you feel so
I don't have
upset about it.
I'm not upset about it. I just thought we would have talked about that. Right? I guess I forgot about it myself, to be honest, by the time we got to Akers. I mean, I was thinking about picking him up in fantasy, and then I was like, you know what? I don't really care. Like, I don't think he's going to do that well. I don't want to blow my budget on him.
Right.
You got Ford, who's going to, they're going to share carries. When's the last time Hunt even practiced?
Hunt didn't eat with Chubb. So who's to think he's going to eat with Hunt?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of Ford. I mean, I wouldn't really want to mess with him. And it's going to be a bad offense. I mean, we'll probably talk about it a little more later.
Yeah, we are going to talk about it.
Well, what I was going to say is the reason why we were talking about him last is because it's not really anything to talk about. You know, Hunt's kind of washed. If they wanted Hunt, I mean, he's going back to the team that let him go. So the only reason he's going there is because he knows that offense, and he's going to be able to spell Ford. I think Ford looks pretty good. He's no Nick Chubb. Nobody is, you know, but he'll do we'll cut that part out. He'll do the job, and Hunt will just give him a spell once in a while.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Hunt, low impact, so that's why we talked about him last. But anyways, all right, we've seen week 2. I think week 2 is honestly one of the more interesting of the whole season to watch because we see a lot of these storylines that are created in week 1.
Right.
And it's a lot of question marks. Mm-hmm. Is this team actually good? Is this team actually bad?
Yep.
Is this player good? Is he bad? Is he having an off game?
Right.
Week 2 really can kind of give you that second set of data to really confirm these theories that come out of week 1.
Absolutely.
And I think what we're kind of seeing, a trend from the first 2 weeks of the NFL, is a lot of these teams that are overhyped, making big changes from last season to this season, really shouldn't have been. They've been struggling. They've been bad.
Right.
There's been some teams that have been just straight up bad.
Yeah.
A couple examples. The Bears.
Yeah.
Thought to be a little bit of a step up. Justin Fields hasn't really done. He's looked considerably worse. Does not throw the ball. It almost looks like he wants to run.
That pick 6 at the end was just an exclamation point.
That was
one of the most hilarious plays I've ever seen.
It was actually amazing because I picked up the Buccaneers defense on most of my fantasy squads. So I was over the moon with that. But it's really sad because I was actually a Fields truther. And I'm not going to, quit on my boy yet. I think there's still something there. Go back to his college tape. He's not as terrible. Well, it's college to NFL translation.
How many games does he need?
I know. You're right.
How many games does he need?
And I'm pretty sure he's like 5-22.
The excuses are just too much.
You're right.
I mean, it's been too long.
The head coach has been just as bad too, obviously.
Right.
But it might be the coaching staff. You don't know. The DC just resigned. I don't know if you saw that. There's a huge
big drama.
Huge investigation going on. Or I don't even want to delve into what that could possibly be.
We don't want to talk about that. No.
But I think this is Fields' last season to kind of prove it or lose it type of thing. And we'll just have to see what he does going forward. Yeah.
I mean, other teams, too. When we talk about the Steelers, they've been really disappointing. Kenny Pickett has not taken a step. It's kind of quarterback focused, really. That's
right. I mean, that's the lead now, though.
To be fair, though, Kenny Pickett, he's played a couple of really tough defenses.
Yeah, that's fair. The Niners, and then and
then they just played the Browns.
So that's fair.
Yeah, I think the jury's still out on.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need to see some more second string defenses like preseason when they played, right?
Right. Yeah, something to boost his stats a little.
Something to
I mean, get him going. I don't know. I don't think. I think it's more of a Pickett problem than anything. But we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I'm not necessarily a big fan. I just don't want to.
I'm not ready to call for his head just yet.
And then the last team is the Browns, obviously. Everyone was calling for Deshaun Watson. K-Dog, Deshaun Watson, top 10.
I mean... Yeah. Let's clarify. It was fringe top 10, and I believe he might have been number 9.
And that was with Chubb on the team, and now without Chubb.
So we might get into this though, but I think the Chubb, rest in peace. I love that guy, but I think him leaving is gonna kind of force Deshaun's hand to become more of the passer he used to be and the runner he used to be.
I mean,
we'll get into this later.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting one. So, kind of sounds like we're a Browns podcast right now.
No. I'm not trying to stick up for the guy or anything. But
all I'm saying, I'll wrap up my point here.
Okay, go ahead.
1, I'm officially pronouncing the Browns dead this season.
I saw that earlier in our
and text. 2 is just don't buy into the hype necessarily. Yeah, I don't think of all these teams that are under the radar right now, who we all had finishing last in their division. The Rams,
right?
Like the Falcons,
the Buccaneers,
the Bucks, it's the funny. Patriots,
the NFC South
trash, buddy.
They've played. The Patriots have played.
Okay,
the Eagles.
That offense isn't going to do anything.
They have played. They played them pretty close.
Their defense, I like a lot. Their offense
doesn't look bad.
Trash.
No,
buddy.
it's not.
It's not trash. It's not trash.
Put any other quarterback besides Mac Jones in that offense, they'll be great.
But they've played within 1 touchdown of debatably 2 top 5 teams.
But that's because of their defense.
Okay, but we're talking about defense, bud.
Okay,
you bozo.
All right, put a clown nose on me.
I was just gonna say too, with the NFC South, everyone agreed going in, this is the worst division in football, and they have not 1, not 2, but 3 undefeated teams now, and then the Panthers being on.
Yeah, that's accurate.
3.
Saints,
they have
Falcons,
3 Saints, Falcons, and Bucks. All 2-0. Yep. Granted, for some of those teams, the competition hasn't been great.
Hasn't been quality.
But
it's true.
I don't think any of us really saw that coming.
No, they're right up there with the NFC East. With the undefeated teams.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in that terms. Not talent-wise.
Let's not get carried away here.
Eagles. Those are looking like the most...
Commanders are 2-0 too.
Commanders, yeah. Those are looking like
so you're talking about records. Yeah.
Right.
Records. Yeah. So, don't buy into the hype. I think, especially when you're talking in fantasy and you're calling for these guys because these guys get priced at hype prices.
Yeah.
Not maybe where they truly perform. And so...
But maybe you should go against the grain because you want to buy into the lows of these teams. I mean, like we were talking about, Buccaneers, all these type of teams that are actually doing really well, those are the teams that are supposed to be doing bad. So go against the grain. I mean, look at the Bengals. You going to buy into that team right now?
I don't know.
We'll discuss that later.
Yeah, okay. That's tough. I'm jumping ahead.
All right.
We're going to ourselves. I think we need to get into the game.
We don't want to jump into the future. We're going to jump into the past.
Nice.
All right. So let's talk about last Thursday night football. We got Vikings Eagles. It made out to be quite the shootout. I mean, towards the end, there was just back and forth. If I remember correctly, Vikings fumbled. Was it 3?
Oh my goodness!
Times?
There was I think 4 fumbles in the first. Greasegate first quarter, man. It was nuts.
The thing that sticks out to me is I believe the Vikings had 3, maybe 4 turnovers. I think 3,
and they're still in the game.
Yeah, and they lost by 6 points.
Yeah.
Right? I think they lost the turnover battle 4-1 or something like that. I'd have to double check. And they lose game by 6 points.
Something like that. One possession.
And if you think about, if you just want to pick one play, that Justin Jefferson touchback, that was a different. Looking back on it, that's the difference in the game.
Right, and I don't know if you guys are on Twitter or not, but you're hearing the outcry that this rule sucks. Do you guys have any opinion on this?
No, keep it.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah,
I like it because
it's
kind of a desperation. Like we see it maybe once or twice.
It doesn't happen a lot.
We don't see it a lot.
And it's a very offensive league, so to have the defense be rewarded with
it's
something.
a skillful play. It's a very skillful play.
Yeah. No, I like it.
And honestly, if you aren't taking the ball, like if you have someone on you and you aren't taking the ball, 2 hands.
Well, he's trying to score a touchdown.
No, I guess
he's reaching the ball out.
If you're stretching it out.
But that's just a good play by the defender. So
I give huge props.
Yeah.
I think it's
I could see this rule being changed in the future.
Even though it's not a scoring play, I think it's cool as fuck to see something like that happen, personally.
Yeah. I think maybe, this might be kind of crazy, but maybe the defense or the defending team gets 2 points but the offense starts back with the ball.
Make it a safety.
Make it a safety, but the offense team at that point retains the ball on the opposite 50-yard line or beyond the 50-yard line or something.
Interesting. I can see it.
Something like that. I mean, it shouldn't be that punishable because you're already getting up to the goal line, and one move costs you the ball 6 points, 7 potentially. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different from just a player fumbling and being recovered by the defense. It's similar. It's very similar. It's just it's just with the touchback, you're probably very, very close to scoring a touchdown.
Right.
But I mean, as far as the teams in this game, when I look at the Vikings, I feel like they're exactly what they were last year. Mm-hmm. They're just kind of regressing back to that mean. I think last year they were something like 10-0 in one-score games.
Right, exactly.
Now they're 0-2.
Now they're getting their ass bit by them.
It's just that's the way it goes. That's just unsustainable. I think they're pretty much the same team as they were last year.
I feel like their defense was a little better even last year. I feel like their defense is just hot ass.
Was not good. Their run defense got carved up.
Yeah. Good for you, DeAndre Swift, man.
Oh man, yeah. What a week.
Just earned yourself some snaps next week.
That's right.
Well, he made it look easy.
Well, I think so. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell was out, but DeAndre Swift.
I mean, you see that O-line. It was that O-line,
yeah,
dude.
The O-line.
And
finally, DeAndre Swift comes over from the Lions. We knew what type of athlete he was. Honestly,
some of us had him on our top 5 top players to watch.
Oh yeah, is that a K-Dog shout out right there? DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, he was my number 3. I believe.
There you go. We'll talk
another one.
Then.
Well, I just want to point this out. Yeah, he was my number 3. I believe Jordan Addison was my number 2.
Nice. He's been looking great.
And he followed up with another 50-plus yard touchdown from Kirk Cousins.
He's been looking great.
I mean, DeAndre Swift just made it look easy running behind that Eagles offensive line. Mm-hmm. I think, you just mentioned Kenneth Gainwell. You really think Kenneth Gainwell, now that we've seen that from DeAndre Swift, I don't think we're going to see much of Kenneth Gainwell.
Right.
Assuming he stays healthy,
the tier separation of athlete
it's just not
too large.
It's just not close. I will say about the Eagles, though, yes, they're 2-0 now. Their run defense or their run offense continues to be dominant, as well as their run defense. Yep. But they just don't look quite as scary as they did last year. Like last year, they just looked dominant. They just looked like they were on another level. And I just don't. You don't really see that this year. Their defense, particularly their pass defense, just is not.
Well, they got some guys hurt right now.
Yeah, true. But
at least in the secondary. Right. I mean, their front line,
which is where they've struggled.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, they're still. I think they're number 1 in the NFL right now against the run. So that's still the same. But they just don't look quite as dominant as they did last year.
Yeah, it just feels like something's a little out of sync, doesn't it? Yeah. Especially and then we see AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts arguing on the sideline.
Oh yeah,
something. Just
I don't think that's a big deal necessarily.
I think it's just I mean, we're seeing kind of Devonta Smith.
I know.
Really,
maybe it's because the number 8 receiver on the year, Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I think it's
somebody called that, didn't they?
I mean, I've been calling it.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, he's shining. He looks right good now.
He is.
I think AJ Brown is probably not happy. He's
playing second fiddle, right?
Yeah. I mean,
but that that's not going to be. There's going to be weeks where AJ Brown gets his bag. He's going to be performing. Devonta Smith.
I mean, he's the guy that will go deeper, get those big catches in the end zone. So
we'll see.
He'll have his bounce back, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So next matchup we're going to talk about is Ravens Bengals. So Ravens came out of this one, I believe, by 3. Was it 27-24?
I believe so. Yeah. The Bengals kind of rallied at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, kind of I feel like a slower game to start, and then kind of picked up by the end of it. But I think the big storyline here. Burrow continuing to struggle.
Right.
Jamar Chase, a non-factor.
Seriously.
T. Higgins had a big day.
He did.
He had a bounce back.
And but I mean, nervous about Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase, is he gonna? What are we thinking?
I mean, we got to see a change soon in order to be optimistic on the Bengals this season. It's hard. Like you want to think of what they've done in the past. I mean, including going 0-2 last year.
Yeah.
You don't want to I don't want to write them off right now.
You can't.
I think that would look. That has
Joe
the potential to look kind of. Yeah, that has a potential to look kind of stupid at the end of the year. But I mean, if this continues, you can't ignore what you're seeing on the field. So it is concerning. But I would say, I mean, I think they're still definitely a playoff team and a contender in the AFC. But
he also has an injury that's lingering with a calf. Mm-hmm. So that's concerning. You have to really rely on pockets from the pass or pass from the pocket.
Right,
but that's his bread and butter.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from that game is that the Ravens look good.
They do
on both sides of the ball. Yeah. To me, you could blame it on his calf, which that's going to be part of it. But Ravens defense looks good.
Yeah.
I think the offense is only going to improve with Monk in there, getting everything going. This is his first year as that OC and being able to use the weapons he has accordingly. Mark Andrews, his first game back, we saw him come in.
He looks good.
Do pretty well.
Yeah, he looks good to be back, yeah.
You got Zay Flowers still. What's his name? Not OBJ, but the other guy. Bateman looked pretty good. So I think this is actually going to be one of the teams that beat in the AFC North there. Yeah. But you don't like that?
I just don't. Man, I'm not high on the Ravens. I don't think they look particularly great.
Did you watch the same game?
I just
because this is
Lamar
still the Bengals.
I think their defense is solid. Well, I'm just not loving Lamar.
The thing about Lamar,
he's the heart and core of this team. Bro.
He is, but from listening to other podcasts, I'm not going to shout any of them out because you should just be listening to this one. I guess the coaching game plan for Lamar was like, hey, stay in the pocket. We don't want you moving around too much right now. We want to get you used to passing in the pocket, getting that down. And then once you have that down, you can start moving around a lot more. So I think once he gets comfortable with that, staying in the pocket, becoming more of a pocket passer, and then adds that running element into his game that he's always been great at, he's only going to be that much better. And having Monken as his OC, I think that offense is going to step up a level once he does both parts of the game.
I think the Ravens I agree with Koop. I think the Ravens are a dangerous team. I'm not huge on Lamar.
That's fine.
I've kind of doubted him in his career. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league, or ever was.
During his MVP season?
Even in his MVP.
On, bro.
I mean, he's a great rusher, but
I'm a Lamar hater.
But anyway, but the Ravens, they're just so well coached.
Yeah.
Every single year. And then with the danger of Lamar, I mean, certain times, like there's just no one who can match up with them, Mm-hmm. And so to have that kind of weapon, I think they are a contender.
Right. And the Bengals, they're going to get right at some point. They're a good team. Joe Burrow just needs to get healthy, use his weapons accordingly. We've seen it year after year. They'll get back. No worries.
It's got to be frustrating as a Bengals fan to see this 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Start 0-2. It's like,
it's got to be. You have to have some optimism because
right.
You've seen them,
and I'm sure they
overcome this before.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do.
I said it once. I'll say it again. Lamar Jackson is not a pocket. I cannot say the word today. Pocket passer.
You've said that.
He's not a pocket passer.
You've said that once before.
I've been saying it for years, K-Dog. Oh.
Yeah, I've always been kind of a hater too.
But I don't buy it. But we'll see. All right, Seahawks Lions. This is one you guys can clown on me. I'm ready.
Can't wait to talk about this. And I think I get, as a Seahawks fan on this pod, I think I get to play this one here.
All right. Yeah. So Seahawks, we beat
Prophet
the Lions.
Prophet J, fake fan.
We beat the Lions against my beliefs. I was wrong. I'll own it.
You have to atone for your sins
in an overtime. But you know what? I will be so content being wrong because we won.
Oh yeah.
And we saw the team that we expect to come out onto the field on a weekly basis.
Right.
I mean, the defense
put it together.
Well, not perfect, but significantly better than the week prior.
Mm-hmm.
Offense was much more in sync. Lockett had a huge day. I mean, you love to see what he's trying to do, what he's doing on the field. JSN got more involved. K9 looked great.
Right.
Overall, I think it was a pretty put-together win against a very solid fringe top 10 Lions team.
I'm going to jump in here. Okay, top 10 now. Okay.
Fringe top 10.
I remember last week I asked, you think the Lions are top 15 defense?
I said
and you
yes.
said overwhelmingly yes. So going into this game, they did have a good-looking defense. So what surprised me the most was how our O-line did. Because we were down 2 of our main starters. They came in there. They showed out. I predicted Aiden Hutchinson, my defensive player of the year, to get at least 3 sacks that game. In total, the Lions had 1 sack.
Woo!
That's pretty crazy.
That is impressive.
The Seahawks did great this game. I don't think anybody really expected that. I honestly, I was waffling. Not gonna lie, the Lions kind of scared me a little bit, but I'm glad I stuck with my Hawks.
Yeah, this is in Detroit too.
It was in Detroit,
which is it was a sold out crowd.
They had their ski masks on.
You let some Lions fans down there for sure.
We punched them in the face.
There are a lot of sad Lions fans.
We've got a Lion fan listening right now, and I just want to pull one out for you. They'll be fine going forward. Depending on how Amon-Ra. If that, I don't know if you guys saw, but
if his toe clears up,
he's probably got a little turf toe going on. But I think that offense is potent enough to where maybe like a Josh Reynolds will fill in. Jameer Gibbs is going to be looking good going forward.
Yeah,
we'll talk about this a little bit later.
Our run defense needs to take it up a notch because before Montgomery got hurt, he was tearing us up, just absolutely rushing right up our asses.
So I wouldn't be too worried about the Lions' loss as a fan there. Seahawks is just a good team all around.
They looked good. This is what we expected. And Witherspoon.
Isn't my turn yet?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. The corner looked good.
K-Dog wanted to get in here.
More Jamal Adams. But, yeah, please, K-Dog. What do you have to say as a boys fan?
Yeah,
this is better than you?
This is not this has nothing. My boys fandom has nothing to do with my take here.
Yeah.
First of all, I just want to say that was a fun game to watch. It was quite the roller coaster at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And the Seahawks got that pick six. I texted you guys.
I know. We were texting. It's over. Yeah.
It's like 8 minutes left. It was like at the way the Lions offense was playing, I was like, there's no way they're going to score 10 points. And then they go ahead and do that. But then the Seahawks hang on and still win. So, it is a good win for you guys.
It's probably one of the game of the week, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot better than the next game we're going to talk about.
To me, I think this game says more about the Lions than the Seahawks.
Sure.
I think that this game just proves that the Lions, although they did beat the Chiefs last week, they were very hyped up this year. I think it just proves that they're still not that team. They're still, to me, and we'll get into it in our power rankings, but to me, there's a pretty decent gap between the top teams in the NFC and then that next tier. And the Lions and Seahawks fall in that next tier.
Okay, yeah. I don't know about
but
one of those teams.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think we're ready for the boys. Send us that way.
I don't know if that's the way you guys want to go. You're gonna run into some players like maybe a Micah Parsons, Tony Pollard. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if you guys want to go.
Have you seen our run D? We can stop Tony Pollard.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
We can't stop Jake Ferguson.
Speaking of
or Deuce Vaughn.
Yeah, there are a lot of players that showed out. So I guess now that we're on the Cowboys, I can touch on them briefly.
Gross.
There's not a whole lot to say. That defense just looks dominant once again. Mm-hmm. Outside of that 70-yard touchdown to Garrett Wilson, the Jets essentially did nothing. Cowboys got another 4 turnovers. It's funny, that guy Dak Prescott, everyone thinks turns the ball over. He's got another 0 interceptions this week against what many would consider a top 3 defense.
Sure.
He looked great. He completed his first 13 passes, and once again, the game just got out of hand where the offense didn't have to do too much.
I want to give you props. I asked you last week. I said, "Hey, how many points do you think the defense is going to get you in fantasy?" And you said 17. You know how many they got you?
Something like that.
I think it was
they got you 16. Right? Yeah, so 16. You were right on it.
Yeah, that was pretty close. They would have gotten more if I don't know if you guys saw that play where Micah Parsons' touchdown got taken back. That was sad. Anyway, the Cowboys. We'll get to the power rankings later, but all I'll say right for now is I could not have asked for a better start to the season than this. Sure. Literally, everything looks great.
And I think that's all we need to talk about for this game because. Jets look like booty.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is I dropped the Cowboys off my top 10 because they didn't win by more against the Jets.
Yeah,
sure.
That sounds like a Prophet J take to me.
Kind of an asterisk game. That's all I'm going to say.
Right.
Zach Wilson.
I don't think they've really played anybody.
Y'all see.
That's very good.
That's a valid point. I'm not really going to argue with that, but
I think once we see them play the Niners, I think that's going to be a very telling game for both teams.
Absolutely.
That might be the game of the year, honestly.
Yep, absolutely.
Y'all see Brees and Sauce on Twitter after
I did not.
Game?
What
they
did
were
they say?
Talking big smack.
They said Zach Wilson, who? Get his stanky ass off his team.
Brees Hall only had 4 carries that game, so he posted 4 football emojis.
Oh God!
But it's how are you going to only give Brees Hall 4?
What a great environment to work in.
That reminds me of one more thing to say. You guys some of our more loyal listeners may remember I had Dalvin Cook as my number 10 running back going into this year. And, that does not look good. Like 2 weeks into the season, that's not looking so good.
Nope, not at all.
Neither is Damian Pierce.
Well,
just kidding.
No, that one looks
neither
bad.
is Jameer,
looks bad.
Neither is Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, but I think out of the 3 we just mentioned, I think Gibbs has maybe the best chance to get there.
He still has a lot of opportunity.
I think it's only been 2 weeks. So we have a lot of football to watch.
I was just giving you guys a hard time.
Well, I didn't like it.
Cook could be still right. Cook could be cooking anytime. All right, what I called to be the game of the week was maybe the worst game of the week. Chiefs Jags.
Excuse me.
Chiefs.
It was touted as the game of the week.
Came out on top, 17-9.
Yeah.
And we saw a little bit of Kelsey return, and he looked fine. He got a touchdown, but didn't really. He was kind of quiet outside of that. Wasn't on the field all that much, so the knee's definitely still bothering him a little bit.
Did get that touchdown though.
He got the touchdown.
He did.
One touchdown? The one touchdown in the game, right? I think, or maybe there was another one. There was. It was a quiet offense.
Jags, at least.
Quiet offensive game, and honestly, we kind of saw a Chiefs defense that looked pretty damn good.
Right.
And suddenly now my top 15 call out from last pod is looking pretty all right.
Yeah, they have a good
top 10.
They have a good defense.
Yeah, and I'm just, you know what? I'm going to jump in here before Prophet Jay just steals all the airtime on this game and says everything I want to say.
I'm just right.
No.
I got to call it out.
I'm just going to say I'm not impressed with the Chiefs, to be honest. And is this because Kelsey's not 100%? And I got a little Taylor Swift joke in here. Is he still going to be trouble when he walks in to each game?
Oh.
He's just trying
to, I don't know.
I'm shaking off that joke, dog.
But, I think the Chiefs' defense is actually kind of the takeaway from this game. They looked better than their offense did. Something's going on.
Chris Jones looks
hungry. I think something's going on with that offense. I just don't buy into, Mahomes is obviously the top quarterback, but I just don't see them being able to rely on him this year like they did years in the past, maybe last year. I think they do need that wide receiver option. I think maybe other teams' defenses are kind of like keying in on Kelsey, and if Kelsey's not 100%, then...
So you're saying there's a quarterback curse from the show.
Jesus. He's always got to tie himself back in there.
I think he might be.
You're
calling for the downfall of Patrick Mahomes.
Well,
K-Dog, what do you got on this?
I think your takes I just heard, it makes me think that there's a blank space up there in your guys'
Okay.
All right, it's back to
and
Koop
that's the
here.
last Taylor
It's
Swift.
back to Koop here.
That's the last Taylor Swift joke on the pod.
That game was a very, very winnable for the Jags. Very, very winnable. I think there was many inches away toe touches from being touchdowns for Kerr.
That's true. And Jones.
Ridley, Jones. So I think the Chiefs are just kind of like a...
You say mid-tier team? You think
I wouldn't say mid-tier.
Bottom 15?
They might be a fraud. I think a lot of people are thinking, hey, it's the Chiefs.
That's a hot one.
I got to put them high.
That's a hot
Chiefs,
one.
I got to put them high.
You're a bunch of frauds. You smoking Chiefs.
I think they
get... Suck.
I think they
That's
get...
all coming from Coop.
They get ousted this year,
Wow.
That's
it's
a
almost
hot,
like...
That's a hot one.
It's
right
almost
there.
like I predicted them to make the playoffs and then lose.
We all did. We
all
all had
did.
them losing to the Jets, bro.
Actually, I think I had them lose
I don't
to
think
the
I did.
Chargers, which the Chargers pick isn't looking great right now.
Oh.
But maybe a different team.
I just want to jump in because I have a different take on this game than you guys. I will say that I was watching Red Zone that morning, and this game didn't pop on a whole lot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on this one. But I think we've talked about the I think we're all kind of high on the Jaguars this year. We've talked about them a lot. And if the Jaguars are what we think they are, then we're gonna look back at this game as just a battle of two heavyweights in the AFC.
Teams. Sure.
Yes, it was kind of an ugly game, maybe a forgettable game, from the offensive perspective. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs went into Jacksonville and beat what we think is a top team in the AFC. I'm still just as high on the Chiefs as I was going into the season. Yeah. I know they haven't looked as clean as we've seen them in the past, but I don't know. I think they're still that team.
Sure.
I hear you. So maybe what we can infer from this then, is that Jags, which are a good team, are not as good as the Chiefs, but the Chiefs aren't as good as the Lions because they lost to the Lions, and therefore the Seahawks must be an excellent team because we
about
have
the Rams
now? And the Rams might just be.
And then what about the 49ers?
The 49ers of a team football.
That actually works out quite well.
Maybe I'm just prophesying.
Wow.
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about them, so why don't we just jump right into the Niners-Rams then?
Niners-Rams, yeah.
Great game, honestly.
Well, we expected, many, myself included, to be a blowout.
Me too.
Turned out to be a close game through halftime. A close game really into the fourth quarter. 30-20, 49ers was the outcome. Mm-hmm. The finish doesn't show how close it was.
Not at all. I think the Rams were there all game. Credit to Sean McVay. And I keep hearing about these frickin' guys. Puka Nacua.
Tutu,
Kyren.
They got
and everybody's always making the joke. I listen to all these pods. They're like, oh, we've been talking about these guys all offseason, blah, blah, blah.
No, you haven't.
But, credit to him because he put together a pretty damn good team in the Rams that arguably challenged the number one team in the league.
Imagine if they still had Jalen Ramsey. He's not on that team anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, he left. True. Imagine how good that defense would be.
Just wait till they get Cooper Kupp back.
Yeah,
that's right.
They don't have Cooper Kupp.
I think the Rams are for real.
I think that's more to talk about later.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
Yeah,
so
agreed on that. I think the Rams are for real. I gotta say, I know you just mentioned him, but Puka is just insane.
Great.
His first 2 games are insane.
What's crazy to me is
UW guy
went to BYU. But what's crazy to me is you see the stat lines and it's like Puka 15 targets.
He had 20 last game.
20 last
game. Catches.
Why aren't these same stat lines being put up for like a Jefferson or a Chase? Like, how is he getting this many targets?
I think it begs the question: is Cooper Kupp just a system wide receiver?
Right?
Oh, sure.
I think that's fair.
It seems to be that this guy plays very much like Cooper Kupp, where he's just always in open space.
He's a smart man.
They were talking about how it's always about the football IQ, knowing how to read the zone and find the open spot. And then Matt Stafford, he's no chump. He's a little older, but he's an accurate passer.
And I think I gotta eat my words a little bit for Stafford because I just thought his arm was gonna be shot. Not gonna lie,
it looked fine.
I didn't think he'd be able to really make it through the season, and he looks great so far. So
absolutely, yeah. So between the wide receivers really outperforming their expectations. The running back, Kyren, looks great. He's doing a lot of passing work. Stafford's been decent. The defense has been really enough to keep him into games. I mean, the 49ers have a great offense. You have McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, who's injured right now. You have Kittle. I mean, all those guys are great offensive weapons. So
any defense
to
that
be
has
expected.
Aaron Donald on it is going to be a good defense.
Yeah, they'll keep them in games. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm really excited. I mean, it disgusts me to say this, as I'm excited to see how the Rams do.
Yeah,
because
I'm intrigued.
It feels like an underdog story. It feels like a fun underdog story.
Everyone wrote him off too soon.
Absolutely.
I mean, we weren't even talking about him at the beginning.
I didn't even think about him.
Yeah,
I thought when we played him, the Seahawks, I thought we were just going to smoke him.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
And
we got smoked.
Yeah, Geno Smith wrote him off, but they didn't write back.
Are Rams making the playoffs?
I can see it.
I'm pumping the brakes on that one.
I know.
I don't think they're
right now. If we stop the season right now, I think so.
Okay. Good thing we got a lot of ball.
I think they're a wild card team.
Yeah,
I'm willing to say that right now.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I don't think they win the division.
No.
Over the Seahawks, but
I think Seahawks might be getting third. Guys,
it's possible.
I looked at it. I did see a power ranking from a different industry today, and they had the Rams at like 24. And I thought that was
after week 2.
After week 2,
yikes! Well,
way
that's
too
disrespectful.
Low. I thought it was way too low.
Way too low.
Yeah.
We might get into that later, but we'll see.
We might. I guess we didn't really tell the people what they got coming, so
we keep alluding to it, but
it's a secret.
It's a secret.
Secret.
You just have to wait till the end.
Secret segment.
Yeah, you'll see. It's very fun stuff upcoming. All right, let's move on to probably an upset. There was an upset that happened. Not an upset that a lot of people thought would happen. Vegas didn't think so. Titans over Chargers. 27-24. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the Chargers defense with a defensive-minded head coach and Brandon Staley isn't too defensive-minded.
No.
They suck. They're
and
bad.
For all the star players they have, Khalil Mack, Derwin James.
So weird.
Man. And Tannehill is not an elite quarterback.
He's not.
By any means. He had 3 interceptions last game.
Yeah.
Right? That was against the Saints.
Before the Chargers. Against the Saints, which is a good defense, but 3 is a lot.
It
even
is.
For a good defense.
We won't get into that.
So
I got things to say.
What are we thinking? The bigger storyline here is Chargers underperforming.
Yeah.
Right. Like 0-2.
Right.
To me.
So what's going on?
To me, it's just same old Chargers. You know, they do that. They've been like this for years, where they have all these star players. Justin Herbert obviously has been great the past few years.
And he's played
continues
well.
to put up great numbers.
Yeah. Played well.
But at the end of the day, they don't win a lot of close games. They just don't. They don't perform in those situations. It's just the same old team to me. Similar to the Vikings. And they play each other in week 3.
I know that's gonna be a fun.
That's gonna be a really interesting one.
It's gonna be a high.
I'll be talking. I will be talking.
We'll be talking about that more later. And then the Titans. I think we just got to give the Titans credit. They're very well coached. I really like.
They have a great.
I really like Mike Vrabel.
Their defense,
run defense. Their defense is spectacular.
Absolutely.
I played
Joshua Kelly. Eckler was out. I played him in fantasy.
And what happened?
I got boned.
He got boned.
I was.
You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Flying in from Stupid Town by playing Josh Kelly against that defense. Tell you what.
Oh, that's amazing.
But as far as the game goes, I'm still pretty. I'm a big Kellen Moore fan.
I mean, the offense hasn't.
Are you really? Watch that guy in Boise. Now he's an OC in the NFL. Offense looks fine. Looks great. Putting up a lot of points. I think they put up more than 60 points in the last 2 weeks. That offense is going to be fine. It's that defense. It's like, are you just going to keep letting these teams keep up with you guys? I mean, come on. It's the freaking Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill throwing to who? D-Hop? I mean, D-Hop's fine, but he's still going to do much anything.
Who?
And honestly,
Derrick Henry.
Talking about the Titans, I don't think Henry looks that great. He's splitting carries with Spears.
Spears looks good.
Watching Henry run, he looks like he's kind of running in slow mo. Not gonna lie. He's kind of washed this year.
He takes a while to get up.
He's a little washed this year.
It takes him a while to get to full speed.
Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but you haven't been hearing anything about Derrick Henry over the past 2 weeks.
Quiet.
He's been very quiet.
That is true.
So
maybe he's just hibernating and he's ready to explode.
I mean, they say
he's gonna listen to this and go, "F you, Koop."
His buddy Nick Chubb's gonna tell him about it.
They say once the first snowflake hits the ground, Derrick Henry comes out to play.
Really?
Yeah, it's called the Yeti for a reason.
I haven't heard that one.
So
we're a while from that. So
yeah,
fade Derrick
So I still
Henry.
think he's just looking a little washed.
All right. So do we think was it more of a Chargers underperformance or a Titans overperformance?
Both.
That led to the win.
I would say both as well.
Right.
I feel
Very
like
much both.
That's good.
All right. So maybe we'll see him hopefully perform a little more closer to what they're expected to be in future weeks. We'll see. Who knows? We could be wrong. All right. Moving on. Colts versus Texans. The battle of C.J. Stroud and
Anthony Richardson.
Thank you. And we got a pretty good game out of this one.
It was decent.
I really just want to talk kind of about the QBs here because
Sure.
I think from Anthony Richardson, we really saw a quarter and a half before he went out with a concussion.
I think.
But he was looking like a Lamar Light right there.
Yeah, he was looking good.
I'm going to chime in here real quick and kind of toot my own horn a little bit. We were texting about, hey, K-Dog. He was like, hey, should I play Kirk Cousins or Anthony Richardson?
Oh,
yeah, right.
And I said, hey, listen, you might only get, a minimum number of fantasy points from Anthony Richardson because he's running all the time. Mm-hmm. He's not really protecting himself a whole lot. And he might get hurt.
Well, he did get hurt.
And what happened? He gets hurt.
Yeah. We got a prophet over here.
I mean, anti-prophet J over there, real prophet J over here.
I told him to play Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
After you read my text.
But what's funny is that Prophet K came off. Decided to go with Kirk Cousins and scored 11 more points with Anthony Richardson.
The decision to play Kirk Cousins was correct. But Anthony Richardson, I hear you.
Yeah,
he could have scored 100 points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100.
What I'm trying to get at is if this guy protects himself, he looks really good.
As a passer and a runner.
I think he had over 65% completion over the past 2 games. He looks good as a runner. He just has to learn how to play with the big boys and protect himself. Yeah. And I think he's going to have a great season.
Yep.
As far as C.J. Stroud, that dude's legit too, I think. I think I had said before the season, I think he was going to be probably the most complete quarterback coming into the league. Being able to
NFL ready.
Yeah, NFL ready.
Yep.
You compare him to Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson.
He's definitely got more raw talent.
Yeah,
and I think we're seeing it get meshed well because he's just a better athlete.
No.
He's bigger. He's stronger than both those guys. He's faster.
Are you talking about Anthony Richardson? Or?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about CJ.
Oh, might be. No.
Okay, no. Anthony Richardson, yes, better athlete, but Anthony Richardson is more polished overall.
I see.
I think you combine Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young into one person.
Yeah.
And that's CJ Stroud.
Oh.
So
you think he's the best of the three right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I kind of think Anthony Richardson is, but
that's fair. He gets hurt too much.
Yeah.
He got hurt past 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, he does need to protect himself a little more. But I think like both these teams. Sorry, did I talk over you?
Oh no, go ahead.
Both these teams look decent. Like I think they'll be okay rest of the season. I don't think any one team is going to be like 4-12.
I don't think they're like a world beater team.
No, but I think I could see them getting around 500. I think that's possible.
Are you talking the Colts or the Texans?
And both.
Both. Okay. I don't
know. I haven't looked at their schedules going forward, but I think there's talent there. I don't know if they'll get more than 6 wins, but it's possible.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen, but we'll see.
You just don't see that a lot of the times when a first-year quarterback comes in.
I totally hear you. I know the
see.
past. Both these teams look really, I think, a lot better than I expected them to
look.
look.
Well, I mean, because we're on the subject of the Colts, once Jonathan Taylor comes back, do you guys think he's actually going to play for the Colts?
I do. I think he'll play once he's healthy.
I don't think he's going to. I think they see what they have in Zach Moss, and they're going to say, bye-bye, Jonathan Taylor. See you later. We don't need your ass.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he'll play, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I think if they have him on the roster and he's willing, he's going to get out there.
Did you guys see the video of him?
The hobbling?
Well, he released a video on Twitter from his personal account of him running with a weighted vest on doing cuts. I think he looked pretty bad still, so I don't think he's ready. Also, I'm a certified Jonathan Taylor hater. So.
Yeah, but please thank you for that disclosure.
Well, I mean,
because we needed that. They probably figured it out on their way. The listeners figured that out on their own anyways.
Sure.
All right. Quickly, Falcons-Packers. Falcons win a 1-point favor, 25-24. Bijan looks tremendous and amazing, and I think he himself can honestly run that offense. It's amazing. Desmond Ridder looked better than the week prior, but still not great.
Yeah, I think for this game,
he got it done.
Good to see Drake London get some balls.
Like, crazy, you throw a ball just up in the air to your round 1 wide receiver, and then they do something cool.
It's interesting.
Like it's funny.
It's interesting how that works. Yeah.
It's kind of like Justin Jefferson or like.
All right, don't be comparing him to Justin Jefferson.
Drake London kind of looks better than just. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
As far as this game goes for me,
and Jordan Love looks good.
I can say I called this game. Falcons over Packers, but I think because of the injuries the Packers have currently, they didn't have Aaron Jones. They don't have Christian Watson back yet.
That's true.
I think that's kind of what helped them. The Falcons win this game.
Impact.
I think that played a pretty large impact. Once they get these guys back, I think they can only get better. We'll have to see how Jordan Love does going forward. I got a stat here. He's, I think, the 3rd worst in completion percentage in the NFL. We've all been hearing about how well Jordan Love's been doing. He has
6 touchdowns. I think he has 6 touchdown passes,
something like that.
3 in each game.
He only has a 55.8% completion percentage.
That's pretty bad.
Not very
bad.
good. So
that
a lot of those
a little better than Deshaun Watson numbers.
Have you looked those up?
Deshaun Watson's is not good.
All right. Well,
whatever. 55 is terrible.
Anyways, it's very bad. So going forward, we're going to see if Jordan Love is actually the real deal. I think once he starts playing these teams, but I think Christian Watson, once he gets back, and Aaron Jones coming back off that hammy is going to help him out. So I can see them doing pretty well going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun game to watch. I mean, both these teams, watching the Falcons, I think they're just a fun team. I mean, they're just like such a unique team. Yeah. They're like what the Bears want to be,
Sure.
The Packers, I just think it's so weird watching the Packers this year because they were a team that, like, at least offensively, like, just so consistent. We've seen Aaron Rodgers for 15 years. We've seen Devontae Adams over there, Jordy Nelson, like all these like longtime players. And now I watch the Packers and I'm like, who the hell are these guys? Like, I mean, the wide receivers, like they're all so young. Just like it's just interesting. It's truly a new era for the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may have had them in my top 10 if they win this game, but they did not. So
wow.
It's an exciting era for the Packers, though.
Yeah,
sure. I think they have a lot of promise.
This is like their team for the next 5-10 years.
And I don't want to see the Packers succeed. I don't.
Really?
I don't either.
No.
I don't either.
No more. No more with the Packers.
Let's give him a bad quarterback for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe Jordan Love isn't what we.
Let's make him a running
what
first
people
team.
hope he is.
All right. Last game we'll talk about. No, 2 more games to talk about. We'll make this one quick. Anyone want to say anything about Giants Cardinals? Anyone want to stunt?
Giants avoided a complete disaster. I mean,
Honestly,
they were getting blown out by what many consider the worst team in the league.
Right. I think at some point the Cardinals were like, "Wait, what are we doing? We want Caleb Williams."
It's like I've heard that joke. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, flip side, Daniel Jones led, I think, 4 straight touchdown drives.
He looks good. He looks good at the end of the game.
Good that they got that win to get their season going. But I'm just going to say, similar to my Rams are making the playoffs. I'm going to say it right now. Giants are missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think.
No.
I think whatever they had last year, that kind of faded out. You know, that little magic they had going on, the day balls or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't think they're that team this year. Saquon getting hurt doesn't help at all. Daniel Jones, I think he's a joke.
Whoa!
That
Holy shit!
To be paid that much and to be, that's for Daniel Jones because he's gonna need an ambulance here pretty soon.
The line's pretty bad.
I don't think he's very good, and to get the bag he got, I don't think it was deserved at all. So I know we got a certified Daniel Jones lover over here.
I have to be a Giants fan.
Why is that?
I will admit, during this game, through at least the first half, there is a self-imposed restraining order from my girlfriend to me. I couldn't say anything about the Giants unless I get stabbed.
I'm curious how many expletives were said in this house.
It wasn't a great game.
Not a comfortable
Let's just say the fourth quarter was a huge relief.
Yeah.
But, the Giants obviously didn't look good. I think they kind of seemed to be in this like funk ever since that bad snap against the Cowboys.
Sure.
And like the offense looked good before, didn't look good after. And then when they had their miraculous first touchdown, everything seemed to be like that huge sigh of relief. Like, oh, we got a touchdown. People will stop memeing on us now. And then they went off.
Sure.
It was great. So.
And then they were like, oh, wait, we're playing the Cardinals.
Yeah. And so.
We should be winning this game.
Obviously, Saquon, that injury impacts the future significantly.
Right.
He's not going to play tonight. And.
You don't think Matt Breida is going to be able to.
No, I mean, come on.
To do much?
You just don't even say that to me.
No
say that to me.
thank you to Matt Breida.
Right.
They're gonna get clowned on against the Niners, but it is what it is. So, okay. Last game, Steelers Browns.
Yes.
Chubb. Obviously, we already discussed it. The injury is horrible and completely and utterly devastating to the future of the season for the team. I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere without Chubb.
I agree. Yeah. I think it's over.
I don't know if it's over. To be honest,
Deshaun's not the guy to bring it into the promised land.
We'll see.
He's taking him down to hell with him.
I'm just gonna jump in.
Jump in.
I think
you Deshaun.
The public sentiment. I know it's not easy to defend this guy. I'm not gonna come out and be like, yes, he's a great guy. Obviously not. We're gonna talk about football here. For the next,
we have been talking about football.
I'm just saying we're talking about football here. So when I see Deshaun Watson playing, I don't see as bad of a player as the public sees. I think everybody's jumping on him to say he's trash for good reasons. But I think
people want to see his downfall.
They want to see his downfall, and from what I see, it's just a guy who hasn't played a lot of football in the last 2 years. Who's coming back. He's getting his feet under himself in the NFL again. And I think with this Chubb injury, like I kind of alluded to earlier, is that they're going to have to rely on Watson a lot more. Is Ford going to be that guy? I think he can be. I think he's very similar type of runner to Chubb. He's not nearly the caliber of player. But, Watson's a great runner. I think that's something we've all seen as the season's progressed in the last 2 weeks. He's still the runner he has been. Has he been the thrower? No. But
absolutely not.
No,
but that was his shit back
that's
in the
okay.
day.
But you know who they're playing this next week? Or this week?
Lay it on me. Who are they playing?
Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Who have given up a lot of points to the passing. So I think this might be a nice game for Watson to come out and say, hey, now this is what I am as a passer. I'm playing against this soft secondary. He's going to get a lot of good throws in. It's like a get-back game for him.
Yeah, this is his prove-it game,
I think this is a prove-it game. I think he might be able to prove it and say, hey, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Njoku, I'm going to get you the ball because we can't rely on Ford, who's going against a very stout. I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but Titans D, very stout.
It's a great run defense. We saw this past week. K-Dog, do you tend to think the same as Koop here?
As far as
do you believe in the Browns?
An optimistic Browns? No, I do not. I think they're done. Deshaun, I kind of thought we'd see more from him this year, and maybe we still will, but
I think it's too early to call.
So far, it's
he's had like
he's had only 8 games.
So far, it's exactly the same as it was last year.
Would you say he's better or worse than Fields?
Worse.
You think he's worse than Fields?
From what his potential could be, or just in general? They're both playing a bad brand of football right now.
They're definitely bottom. They might be bottom 10 quarter. I mean, Fields certainly is. I think I'd put Deshaun over Fields, but they might both be bottom 10.
Deshaun is a good he's not a good passer anymore.
Deshaun's pick in this game bounced off of his tight end's hands and into the Steelers' defense.
Okay.
For that pick six. That wasn't really his fault. What else has he done that's
Dude, his line, he's if we're speaking in completion rates, his is not good too. I don't know what it is, but it's not good.
Is it as bad as Jordan Love's?
It could be. Like, Deshaun Watson is not a good passer compared to what he was back when he was with the Texans. And if he can't pass, he can run, but he's not that. He's no Lamar. He's no Fields in their running capabilities. This offense is screwed. They're going to be just...
He's 55% on that.
Yeah, he's awful.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
It's so bad.
It's been 2 games, my man.
If I had an off season, I could throw better than 55%.
Got Shmokers. In week 4, we're going to see how the next 2 weeks go for him. At that point, I will concede to him being a bad quarterback if he does not look good in the next 2 weeks. Okay,
I want to remind.
I'll give myself 2 weeks here.
That's
a Koop promise. I'll give myself 2 weeks here.
And I just want to remind the Shmokers, I called for Deshaun Watson to be benched this season.
And
he did.
And DTR coming in, or whatever.
And DTR is going to come in.
Right.
Because at some point, they're going to be like, "Wow, we suck with this guy," even though we paid him $225. The Browns are the dumbest franchise in like sports history. I swear to God.
Yes,
they're so bad.
I agree.
I think
Browns. Yeah, Browns are pretty bad. Commanders might have something to say about it.
All right, they're horrible. The Browns.
Commanders.
I'm calling for your downfall. All right. We're gonna move on. So that was our week 2 discussion. We're done with week 2. We're moving on. We're out of the past. We're moving to the future. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're moving to the future.
We're in the future, actually.
Actually, we're talking about the future.
We are talking about the future.
We're talking about the future here because we're moving into a new segment called Fraud or God.
You want me to cut that part out?
No, it's fine. All right. Dude, our sound guy's lazy. He doesn't make sound bites for me. So, Fraud or God is basically a segment where I am going to name 5 players to both Koop and K-Dog.
All right.
And they're going to tell me, these are players that have either been overperforming or severely underperforming.
Sure.
And you're going to basically tell me in a 1 or 2 sentences, or you just say their name, or Fraud or God, if you think they're going to continue to succeed and be a god, if they're going to bounce back and be a god, or the opposite of they're continue to be bad, or they're not for real, and this is just a lucky streak. Whatever.
Okay.
All right.
I'm excited.
I got like 1 or 2 for each position, so we're gonna talk about it. Actually, we'll just go through it. All right. First one, AJ Brown. So he's got no touchdowns. He had an 80-yard game week 1 and a 29-yard game week 2. Do you think he continues to be stanky, or will he be better?
I'll take this first. It's going to be more than a word, my response at least.
Well, you got to say it's Fraud or God. Start with that.
I'm in between.
No.
Fine. I think, for what I think he's going to do going forward, I will say God. I don't think he's going to be a God, because I think the God on that team is DeMonte Smith. I've been touting him all season long.
There's not a demigod?
My number 8 receiver on the year.
I'm gonna say God.
All right, he sticks with it.
I love AJ Brown. He was on all our top 10 wide receivers. He's a great player.
Yeah, he was.
Well, he wasn't on mine.
Yes, he's had a slow start to the season. I'm actually a little more concerned about Jalen Hurts as a passer than I am those wide receivers.
So you still believe in the talent of both wide receivers?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Next player. You good, Koop?
Yeah.
Okay. Next player. He's a guy who got shot last season, and now he's had 2 great games when he had a full offseason to really strengthen up and recover once again. This is Brian Robinson.
Right.
So week 1, 19 for 59. Okay game. Nothing too crazy that happened at that point. And then second game, the real pop-off. Couple touchdowns, 18 for 87.
Yeah. I'm going to say God here. I think he's kind of usurped Gibson as the lead back.
The dude.
Yeah, as the dude. I think Gibson's in the doghouse. That guy always finds a way to fumble.
Yeah, he fumbles.
Ron Rivera is going to say, hey, get your ass out of this game. Brian Robinson's looked good ever since he's come back from, a season removed from the gunshots,
Yeah.
I think going forward, he's gonna be that RB1. He's gonna be doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I thank God for this one as well. What a great story. Obviously, him coming back. I remember in fantasy this year, I was like in a late round. I needed a running back. My back-to-back top choices were Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. I was like, who do I choose? And thank God I chose Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
He had a great game last week, and I think that's just going to continue.
Yeah, he might be RB1. Is he on
He's
the season?
3, I believe.
3?
Yeah,
that's
3.
crazy.
Yeah.
But good for him. I'm really. It's honestly like one of those guys you want to root for, right? Given everything last year.
No, absolutely.
And he was a beast at. He's at Bama, right?
He was at Bama.
Yeah,
That's right.
So yeah, good for B Rob. Hope to see you keep it going. All right, next one, Anthony Richardson. So he's looked like a pretty good passing run dual threat.
Right.
Do you think it's been because he's playing against bad teams? Do you think he will continue to do
No, it's not bad teams because Ravens, first week.
Yeah.
I'll say God here. The caveat for that is going to be if he stays healthy. I mean, as a young runner, he's going to be putting himself in harm's way. Just look at Josh Allen, the way he's been playing lately.
Yeah.
He's been kind of doing the same thing. I would say Josh Allen, very good comp for Anthony Richardson, what he could be. If he ends up protecting the ball more than Josh Allen does, he's going to be better. But just stay healthy, man, and you'll be a god this year.
K-Dog. K-Dog's face looks a little strained.
This one's tough. I think, because we're on Shmokin Hot Takes, I'm going to say fraud.
Oh,
okay.
I like it.
I'm glad we had something different here.
Yeah, me too.
My reasoning, I don't feel strongly about this. My reasoning is that, for him to come in his first 2 games and get knocked out of both with 2 injuries.
Scary.
That's a bad way to start your career.
Yeah.
And some players, for whatever reason, just seem to be more prone to those injuries. That's just concerning for me. But I know he's had those highlight plays, but his play style is just a dangerous way to play in the league, and that he's already getting hurt is concerning.
I feel like that's half of what I said, because I said caveat if he doesn't get hurt. Right. So if he doesn't get hurt,
that's fair.
What would you say, K-Dog?
I don't. To be honest with you, I haven't watched him enough.
Okay.
I haven't watched him enough.
Well,
even though he's on your fantasy team, you haven't watched him.
He's on the bench.
All right.
Oh, you should play him, bro. He's good.
Well,
he ripped
I
off
should have
2
played
Russian
him.
TDs.
I should have played him week 1, but week 2 was the Kirk Cousins.
Who's Kirk got this week?
The Chargers.
Chargers that are ranked 30s. They're ranked 30s.
That's going to be a great game.
I might be.
You're going to run your stack, Addison Kirk, right?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, let's hear the next one.
K-Dog's excited. All right, next one. A guy who was supposed to be top 3 in the league and has proven to be anything but. You might be thinking of the QB, but I'm going with a wide receiver here. Jamar Chase.
I'll jump in here. I think it's a lot like Anthony Richardson. I mean, you got to look at the history with this guy. You have to look at his current situation. There's a lot of variables going on here. Joe Burrow, he's got his calf. Is he going to come back from that and be healthy the rest of the season? If yes, so it's kind of reliant on Joe Burrow. I know
T. Higgins had a good game, though.
T. Higgins had a good game, but that was just, it's been a 2-game sample size. That's not going to be the case with Jamar Chase going forward. As long as Burrow stays healthy, I say God. If Jake Browning comes in, who's the backup on the Bengals. We have a little history with Jake Browning.
We know Jake Browning.
Jake Browning experts. He's the second string.
That's right.
Oh,
and
really?
if Jake Browning comes in, Jamar Chase, he's going to ascend godhood.
He's going to be triple what Justin Jefferson.
That's actually crazy. I didn't know that.
He's going to have the speed of Tyreek and the body of DK.
Yeah, he's going to grow up a little bit. No, if Joe Burrow's healthy, God. If not, I can see a fraud here.
Oh.
But it's all QB related. Go ahead, kiddo.
This one's obvious to me, God.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he's a top wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
We know what he is. Like, we've seen it over and over and over again. Sometimes, I mean, the whole Bengals offense is kind of a mess right now. And for a wide receiver to go have a couple bad games is not uncommon at all. And this just happens to be the first 2 games of the season, of course.
All right. Last player. We got a tight end here. Someone who is on a great offense, but has yet to see enough targets and really translate into any yards. And that's George Kittle.
Oh.
So, obviously the 49ers are a great offense. George Kittle has shown us in the past that he can be a really great weapon and really act like just a giant wide receiver, mowing people down. Yeah. He's a tight end, I know. But, I mean, he's been great these past years. He's injury prone, argument against him. But what about this year? What's going on?
Sure. So this year, if we call back to my top 10 tight ends, I didn't have George Kittle that high. I kind of saw this coming. I'm not going to say because of the reasons I thought would happen. I still think he's going to be a fraud going forward.
Fraud.
Just because there are so many mouths to feed in that offense. You got McCaffrey getting passes. You got Debo. You got Ayuk. You know, Kittle is being... I haven't watched too closely, but what I'm assuming is he's being more of a blocker as a tight end because he is a great blocker.
He is.
So... how I thought he was actually going to be a fraud was because Brock Purdy wasn't going to be able to sustain an offense where he is, one of the top tight ends. I think Brock Purdy's doing just fine. It's just that they need Kittle to act as a different type of tight end. So just going forward, I see him as a fraud.
How are you defining a fraud here? Is he still saying you still think he's a really good player? He's just not in the situation.
He's not a god. That is a fraud right now. He's no Jamar Chase who's going to end up being a god. He's going to stay.
But he still has the talent to be. I think he's just because of circumstances, he's just not going to have the numbers of other guys.
Right. So,
but I would still say he's a god. I would say like a fraud is,
it's just, is he going to continue that trajectory that he's on now, or is he going to flip it over?
Like the stats. I mean, I would think he's going to do a little better.
But you don't think he's going to be a god?
But I totally agree with you that there's just too many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
And it's become Christian McCaffrey's team.
It's the offense. McCaffrey show.
He's the focal point. And then when you don't have him, you got Debo, Ayuk, and then, of course, George Kittle. So it's hard to get the ball around.
All right. Well, thank you, folks. That was...
well, before we quit that segment, I just want to ask our host here, Prophet Jay, what do you... Just run through all 5 real quick. Give us what you think.
No explanation.
Okay, A.J. Brown, fraud. Brian Robinson, God. Anthony Richardson, God. Jamar Chase, God. George Kittle, fraud.
Wow, okay.
So fraud, God.
The only one that's kind of different for us is A.J. Brown. I'm kind of surprised, but that's fine. If you want to explain a little bit, you want to?
I just think it's more... Well, we're not going to see relative... we're not going to see A.J. Brown relative to what he's been in the past, I think.
Because of
Smith.
The ascension of Smith.
Because Smith is kind of proving that he's that guy that is smaller, quicker, can get more open, and he's just getting the targets
that's just,
both in the end zone and...
Yeah, and that's just how the NFL's kind of evolved.
That's how we've been saying it all year long.
I think, if you've been following the Shmokin Hot Takes, we've kind of been all on board that small wide receiver.
Yeah, that is just kind of the new meta, if you will. The new what's popular, what's working. We're not seeing the big guys. I know I called DK Metcalf top 5. I'm not out of that. I'm still bought into that spot, but he needs to pick it up if he wants to do that. And he's one of those bigger bodies that...
I almost had a touchdown.
I really thought we were going to hear Puka's name on that Fraud or God segment.
Oh, if our host was any smarter, he probably would have put him on there.
Okay. I assumed the best of you guys and thought you guys were so smart that you put that he's just an automatic god.
He is a god.
I think he's a god.
I think he's a god
until the true God returns.
You don't get if you get 15 catches against the 49ers defense.
You're doing pretty dang good, buddy.
He's the first of many UW wide receivers that are going to come up and ball out.
McMillan, Adunze,
Polk. Hell yeah, dude.
Looking great.
Yeah, be ready in those dynasty drafts in the future, Shmokers. Okay, so we're going to jump into week 3 games. Week 3 games that we're going to pick as well. We're going to pick the winner. K-Dog, do you want to run through our results of week 2 really quick?
Yeah, so in week 2, I mean, I think we discussed most of them on the pod. But as far as our standings, yours truly won week 2, going 12-4.
Yeah, that's great.
Koop went around. Coop went 11-5.
Not too bad.
And the so-called Prophet J went 8-8.
The false prophet.
I think he went to the wrong future this time. You talked about how you have different options. I think you went to the wrong one.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah, Shmokers. I went into the crazier timelines, and let me tell you, I'm glad I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
Because those are scary.
He's perfect on Earth 10-5. Yeah.
The world ended there. I'm just letting you know. So I won't tell you how. Anyways. So overall, and Koop and K-Dog are tied 20-12 between 2 weeks.
That's right.
And I'm 17-15. Week 1, it was great. So we're going to look for a bounce back this time around.
Yeah, it'll be fun to track this throughout the year. I've never done this before.
Yeah, this will be a good time.
Right, yeah.
So let's get in. So this is the game happening tonight. 49ers versus Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of polar opposites in terms of season success so far. Where the 49ers...
To say the least.
49ers been blowing people out. Defense has been swallowing offenses up. Giants have been letting up a lot of points. They had a great bounce back. They had a great comeback against the Cardinals. Granted, it was the Cardinals.
Yeah. I think
we know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I think there's not a lot to say on this one.
No Saquon.
I probably have less than 10 words to say. McCaffrey, good. 49ers defense, good.
Saquon, ouch.
Giants, terrible. Easy W for 49ers. I'm not even going to spend much time on this. I'm going to send it to K-Dog.
Brian Dabble.
Yeah, I'd echo that. I'd echo that. There's not much to say. 49ers are just going to annihilate the Giants.
I don't think...
I would bet, I just looked up the odds. 49ers, I'd take them at minus 547. Just put your life savings. Just get a little free money.
Yeah.
Put
$1,000 down, you get 547.
I don't really see a risk there.
I'm in.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think when they scheduled this game originally, they probably thought it'd be a little closer,
right,
a little better.
Yeah.
But I think Giants, one of those teams we believed in, and I believed in. You guys had some belief.
Nah, not really.
Game. You guys did.
I had him missing the
playoffs. Before the Cowboys game.
You did.
Yes.
Okay.
I will say they made it to the playoffs. Dayball looks like a good coach. Saquon Barkley. Some may say offensive player of the year, but obviously not anymore.
He's going to come back even stronger.
They weren't in my playoff bracket.
All right.
I don't think they were in mine either.
Okay. All right. We're done with the Giants, 49ers. So we can all safely say we picked the 49ers.
49ers.
All right. Moving on to the next game, the battle of the 0-2, both high-powered offenses, which should be a pretty great shootout because they both have ass defenses, and that's the Chargers versus the Vikings.
Yeah.
Please take it away.
I'll start out. It's a 54-point over-under. Smash that over. 60 points plus is what I got here. I just think you're going to see a shootout all night long. If you have any fantasy players in this game, play them.
Not Josh Kelly.
Maybe not. Well,
Eckler's going to be. Eckler's probably not going to play.
Back, that's fine. But Josh Kelly will be fine. He's not playing the Titans defense. You're going to see receivers going off all night.
Let's not forget Josh Kelly week 1.
Let's just name off the receivers that are going to be fun to watch. You got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Justin Jefferson.
Wait, who's that? Tell me who's
Have you guys heard of that guy?
No, I haven't.
Is he the guy behind Jordan Addison?
He is behind Jordan Addison this year.
I think Jordan Addison has like 2 more touchdowns than he does.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison.
KJ No Hands Off.
TJ Hawkinson.
I love to watch TJ Hawkinson.
Gerald Everett.
Some people might watch him.
Donald Parr.
This is gonna be a great game. You got my guy Kellen Moore, OC in this. This is gonna be 2 great teams. One of them's gonna finish 1-2. That's kind of crazy. But one of them's gonna finish 0-3. After this game.
Yeah.
So that 0-3 team is gonna be looking around their locker room saying, "What the fuck are we doing?" you got two great offenses. I think you got to look at defenses of this game and say, what's going on here? What can we fix?
You wouldn't think either of these teams are starting 0-3.
Not at all.
Like, based just on last year, you wouldn't.
These are two playoff teams to me.
Yeah.
You know,
you still think they're like remotely close to your top 10, even though they're 0-2, and one will be 0-3. They'll probably be the highest I've ever ranked an 0-3 team before.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree.
I think this game is kind of like it's kind of like a playoff game in week 3. You did not want to go to 0-3.
No,
I mean that's a big hole to climb.
It's such a momentum builder, right?
Yeah,
like
the difference. Loser. I feel like the difference between 1-2 and 0-3 is huge.
Neither of these teams, if they go 0-3, it's not a team I will be surprised that will flip the script.
You can't count them out
and be 7-3,
right?
You know,
but that'll be tough though. I guess I'd have to look at their schedules. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be a great matchup though. I mean, they're two like very similar teams. I feel like, it's gonna be fun to watch.
Do you believe they'll probably be close to a 60-point over/under as well?
Yeah, I would say.
How about Kirk Cousins fumbles? What are we over? Over/under 2.
I think Kirk's gonna have a perfect game.
Oh, no fumbles!
I'm starting him this week. So.
Okay,
nice. I got Herbert in this game too. So
and then what do we think?
Keenan Allen.
So what do we? And then last thing, quickly,
and Jefferson.
What do we make of the Madison Akers division? Do you think Akers just doesn't play this week to kind of learn the offense?
I don't think Akers plays much, if at all. Madison's gonna get probably one more shot because they said, "Hey, we're bringing in this guy, Cam Akers.
Hold on to the ball.
Hold on to the ball." This is your last shot to have this as your backfield. If you can't perform, Akers is gonna get his shot.
Well, I think the message was with the trade. It was like, oh shit, I better get my shit together. I'm gonna be out of a job.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So who are we picking on this one? Who
but I said better.
So I got the Chargers here, but that's gonna be my bias from.
What would you give it as like a spread? I think it's gonna be like a 3-point game.
It's definitely a 3-point game.
It's actually
I just, we got notes for this stuff, and I got written down. It's going to come down to that last possession.
Yeah.
It's going to be 20 seconds on the clock, fourth quarter.
Justin Herbert's got a broken rib.
Justin Herbert's down by 3 or whatever, and he's going to come, and he's going to send one right to Keenan Allen, because I got them both on my fantasy team, and it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
And I got him on my dynasty team, so that'd be awesome,
There you go. So I think it's going to be a great game. I can just see, Kirk Cousins, man. He's kind of unlucky at times, and he's going to be looking up at the scoreboard saying,
Lord, why do you do this to me?
I just see that shot in my mind.
But the thing is, the Chargers are exactly the same way. These are two teams.
They're the same team.
These are two teams that are just known for losing
the Chargers
these games.
Poorly coached teams.
The Chargers are the Vikings of the AFC, and the Vikings are the Chargers of the AFC.
They just both have a knack for losing these games. So, what's going to give? I picked the Vikings.
You know what's going to happen?
But it's a toss-up.
I'm predicting a tie. I predict neither.
Hey, that's honestly, a great
like
prediction. I think that's, out of any game matchup this week, I think that's very doable. They get it down to the wire, get it into overtime. They both score a touchdown, and then time runs out.
That's going to be the take of the year if you hit that one.
No, I'll give a real answer.
On that and just say I agree.
I'll give a real answer. We should do that where if someone calls a tie and they get it right, you just win the whole week.
Yeah.
You just get
okay, I don't know about the whole week.
All right, I'm going to call the Vikings. I think their offense has looked sharper. I mean, they're both outstanding offenses, but I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm with Koop and K-Dog that it's going to be a high-scoring game. I just think the Vikings are going to be the ones that finally are able to run away from that 0-2 record and put a dub on the board.
Nice.
All right. Let's move on to the next game, which I think will be a really great one. Both teams that, there are still, I think, a little bit of question marks, and that's the Saints and the Packers. Saints being 2-0, Packers being 1-1 after their loss to the Falcons, who are looking sharp as well. K-Dog, do you have any thoughts about this game?
I just changed my pick as we spoke. I wrote these down this morning, and then I was thinking about something later, and I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to go with that. I picked the Saints to win this one. I just think that Jordan Love and that Packers offense hasn't faced a defense like the Saints quite yet. I just think the Saints are, I don't know, I guess the safer team to choose. I don't know. It's a toss-up.
This one is one of the harder ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Saints though. I just because I trust their defense.
I think that's really their strong suit. his defense right. Feels like Derek Carr still needs to figure out his connections with the wide receivers a little better. I mean, the offense hasn't been spectacular. They don't really have the running backs are like Jamal Williams is injured. Yeah. Probably doesn't look like he's going to play.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Kendre Miller, I think, would be the backup, the rookie.
Right.
And so we can finally kind of get an understanding of what he'll look like. Kamara's coming back in a couple games.
Next game.
So,
after this one.
Is it this one? After this one?
He's suspended 3 games, so back to 4.
That is going to be a blessing. But yeah, this one I think is going to be a close matchup, just given the I think the Packers defenses also look sharp, and I think their offense is good enough to take down the Saints.
Yeah. I didn't really give a lot of thought to this game until just now. But that doesn't take away from what type of game it could be. I think it's going to be a good game. I haven't really heard much about the Packers' defense, to be honest.
I guess they played the Bears, and the Bears have shown
they played the Bears and the
bad.
Falcons, which aren't two good defense or two good offenses at all. I think Saints is going to be a step above those offenses. We've seen Derek Carr. His connection with Olave looks pretty dang good. I think Michael Thomas is actually coming back and looking pretty strong in these past 2 games. I think the Saints they're going to take this one. Definitely. Because, like you were saying, Packers haven't played a good defense. Their defense looks pretty good. Jordan Love, fraud or God. I'm taking fraud.
You're taking fraud for Jordan Love, huh?
Yeah, I think this is a game where it's like, well, actually, Jordan Love isn't.
There's some
because I think
some
that
growing pains.
That completion percentage is going to catch up to him this game. So that's why I got the Saints here.
I mean, it also really.
Who dat?
So we got, it sounds like 2 Saints, a Packer. Really depends on Aaron Jones too. If he can come back, I feel like he's a big
that is a
big
factor
for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna move to our home team. We got the Hawks versus the Panthers. I think we can make this quick.
Yeah, we can make this very quick.
Yeah,
Bryce Young, meh.
He might not even play.
Seahawks D looked good.
Geno
Geno and wide receivers looked good. Running back looked good.
Yeah.
Panthers booty all around.
I think the Seahawks take this pretty easy. I think the Detroit Lions was like a get back right game. Yeah. Saying, hey, this is who we are. This is how we can play.
We're gonna be feeling arrogant.
I think that was our offensive get right game. This is our defensive game. It's like in high school, or even in college, the football teams schedule really easy teams to play for that confidence boost. I think last week that was our offensive game. And then this week, our defense is going to say, hey, this is pretty easy out here.
Yeah. You got to know those Lions, too, when we played them. We're feeling awfully confident.
They were feeling great, too.
The Chiefs.
So we're about to skin 2 cats here.
Yeah, I like that.
We hit the Lions, and then we got the Panthers now. And I think we're going to be just fine.
Yeah, at home, too. So that'll be a good game for the people to see.
The bird defeating the cat rather than the other way around. Yeah, Seahawks are going to win easily.
Okay.
I have nothing else to say.
Prophet K has spoken. All right, let's move on. We'll talk about, I think we'll quickly go through this one. Steelers versus Raiders. Steelers comeback win against the Browns. The Raiders, who I predicted to beat over the Bills. Yes, I know. You can clown on me. Send me a message in the comments telling me trash take. I know.
Yeah.
Bills kind of had their get right game.
Yeah, the Bills kind of shut all of us up because even though we picked them to win, we said it would be a close game. It was not.
No.
Close
yeah, 38-10 in an absolute blowout. I think the big reason for that, we didn't talk about that earlier, but I mean, a lot of the other weapons outside of Diggs got involved, and that was kind of something I had mentioned before that I was hoping would happen, and that seemed to be kind of a key to unlocking a little more offense overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyways, let's move back to Steelers-Raiders. So I feel like really the big question here, does the Steelers defense hold up against the Raiders O? If that's the case, they win, in my opinion. And I think that will be the case. Steelers offense has been okay. Not great. I mean, Najee looks like he's moving in mud. Deontay Johnson's still out. We saw a big touchdown from George Pickens, so he looks good, but Kenny Pickett's got to get that accuracy up. I think if he can play okay, the defense will carry them to the win.
Right. And, earlier I was saying, hey, if the Pittsburgh Steelers can play a second-team defense like they were doing in the preseason, they're going to look pretty good. And I think this is their game. I don't think the Raiders' defense is going to be very good. Steelers, they look great in preseason. They haven't looked good because they've been playing pretty dang good defenses. We're going to see what they can do. I know Deontay Johnson's out, but he wasn't really a factor last year anyways. Pickens looks like that second-year breakout might be happening.
Yeah, he's looking good.
They still got Freiermuth, Calvin Austin, another person I've been talking about. Freiermuth's been nothing.
He's Najee.
Najee looks booty. I mean, we've seen that before, but they do have Jalen Warren. He looks pretty good.
He looks
pretty
good.
Electric. Yeah. I think he gets more involved. And I just don't think the Raiders are going to... I mean, their offense is fine. Adams is still Adams. He still looks great. Jacoby Myers, if he comes back.
I'm nervous for Josh Jacobs this week.
Josh Jacobs against...
Because that front seven of the Steelers is
great. Their defense is no slouch of a defense. And I got the Steelers here. And I think they're going to be the 2-1 team, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And what almost seems the AFC North seems to almost be a toss-up, in my opinion, right now.
No. I mean, I already talked about the Ravens, but...
Yeah,
I like the Ravens a lot this year,
I could see Steelers. I don't know. We'll see. K-Dog, what do you got?
I mean, I also have the Steelers. Just the Raiders have been, so unremarkable this year. I don't know. I mean, I know they pulled out the win in Denver, but then they just got blew out last year. That offense just looks... flat.
Last year or last week?
No, actually last
week. It's
kind
of like...
I think I did, I think I did that last episode too. I was listening. I've done that twice in a row. That's okay. Anyway, I mean, the Raiders have just looked like just a bottom 10 in the league.
It just looks like they kind of came to play and put on a show for the fans, but they have no aspirations for anything.
And playing, I mean, and against that Steelers defense, the Steelers, they have a strength in that defense, and I don't see any kind of strength in the Raiders, honestly, that stands out.
Okay, so we all got the Steelers. Okay, I'm really excited to talk about this game. Two teams that have done the complete opposite of their expectations this year. Rams versus Bengals.
Yes, this is a great game.
Yeah,
this is going to be
Super Bowl rematch.
Super Bowl rematch. It's on Monday night.
This is going to be fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Koop, you seem thrilled. Please take it away.
I am so shocked at how... I mean, we talked about the Rams earlier. They look great, and Bengals look bad. And I just don't think this is the Bengals get-right game.
No, I agree.
Not at all. The Rams D looks pretty legit. Their O looks legit. I mean, they took the Niners, who are our number one team. Ranked team, obviously.
In the NFC West, yeah.
They took them right down to the wire. I think Rams take this pretty easy. Burrow, he might not even play. You might say Jake Browning. We've seen that guy play. He's pretty good in college. But I don't think he
didn't have much of an arm in college.
This will be his first snap as a starting quarterback in the NFL during the regular season. You know that?
And he's got Aaron Donald coming after his ass.
And he's on Monday Night Football. So, Joe Burrow, Jake Browning is praying that you're going to play. Even if you do play, I just don't think you're going to be able to keep up with the Rams or what they got going on. So, I got the Rams.
I think people just really don't believe into the hype of the Rams. People are slow to move on this for some reason, it feels like. Where, I don't know about you, K-Dog, but I'm completely with Koop on this. That I think the Rams are the real deal. I mean, we talked about it briefly earlier.
I agree.
That they could very easily win this game. I have them to win this game, which I think is actually listed as an upset.
It is. I'm looking.
Right
so I do.
And this is a game I would feel comfortable smashing money on.
Right. I do ESPN picks to the fantasy app, and they have the public has Cincinnati Bengals at 65% odds to win this.
That feels incredibly high to me.
Which I don't really understand.
Yeah, so. I mean the Rams. I agree. I also think they're the real deal. I think they'd be a lot more hyped up if they had obviously beat the 49ers a week ago.
Yeah.
But in this game, I took the Bengals.
Oh.
This is the game of the week. I'm excited for this one, just because maybe not the two best teams playing, but just we just have no idea what's going to happen. And it will say a lot about each team.
I mean, it is going to be catastrophic to the Bengals if they lose this.
Right.
This is rock bottom.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I picked the Bengals, because I just can't. If they're the team that I and we think they are, they can't lose this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be an eye opener, to say the least, because maybe we are a little hot on the Rams. From everything I've seen. Especially watching them against the Hawks too.
When they dice up your Hawks, you're going to be hot on this team because you want them to be good. You want them to be good.
But then they also offensively diced up on a top
very
2
good
defense.
Niners. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to not.
And kept the Niners. You know, it didn't get out of control.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
It's hard to not drink the Kool-Aid here, in my opinion. Okay. Next game. 2 teams that I think this will really fall into a pretty even match, and I personally believe could go either way. Got the Falcons-Lions. Falcons 2-0 after taking out the Packers. Lions in a close loss to the Hawks.
Right.
In OT. Both teams seem to have kind of a 1-2 punch. Their offense and defense look okay. The Falcons, the rush offense is there. I mean, between Algier, between Bijan, they're electric. They both have their own separate skill sets that allow them to really be offensive weapons all around the field. Lions, on the other hand, have a great passing offense. Joe Goff. Jared Goff. My bad, Shmokers. Jared Goff threw for spick in a long while, but he looks great. He's accurate.
What is it, 390 attempts or something?
Yeah, he makes the good and easy throws, and he can hit down deep.
Yeah.
What are y'all's thoughts?
So this game is going to be so fun to watch because there's 2 different mindsets in this game. You got run the ball versus air it out, in my mind. Atlanta Falcons, they're going to try to run the ball all night long. Which you can on this Lions defense. It's, you saw the Seahawks do it. And with what they have, Bijan Robinson and Algier, they're going to be doing just fine running around on the Lions. Versus air it out, Jared Goff likes to throw it. He's got Amon-Ra. He's got Reynolds. He's got Laporta. Gibbs is very much a receiving back. Without Montgomery, they're going to have to throw a lot. But if Amon-Ra is going to be out, Jared Goff's going to have to decide which receiver he's going to trust, and I think it's going to be Reynolds. And if the Lions do get up quick, we're going to have to see what Ritter can do, actually, as a thrower. Is he going to be able to utilize London and Pitts? I mean, which we hope he could. But
yeah. I will say I watched pretty close to the whole game against the Packers. Ritter, here's the kind of the crazy thing that I noticed about Ritter. He just had to get the ball remotely close to either Pitts or London, and they did all the work.
All right, I got this to say about Ritter. He looks like a cross between a newborn child and a 90-year-old man.
A 90-year-old man?
So
he's like a 45-year-old man.
Have you ever looked at a picture of him?
No.
All right, just take a look, Shmokers, and get back to me. Comment in the chat what you think.
Like, are you talking about his physical appearance?
He does have an interesting look about him.
Like Benjamin Button never grew up. Like...
Okay.
I think so. You're picking who do you pick? Did you say?
I got the Falcons in this game.
You got the Falcons. Okay. I think I'm going. We're looking at the picture.
He kind of does look like an old man. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
Yeah, I got. Yeah.
All right, Shmokers, we got to look. We got to get the video here.
I'm picking. Going back to the game, Falcons Lions. This one's. I kind of think that the Lions are going to struggle to stop the run of the Falcons.
Yeah.
To the point where it'll keep this game close. But I think I got to pick the Lions. I mean, I think if they're the improved team that I know I've been kind of hating on them a little bit, but I still think they're an improved team. This is a game they should win. Yeah. If they lose this game and drop 2 straight, then the Chiefs game means nothing.
Yeah. This is a game to me where the Lions are going to lion.
I can choke.
I think that's they're going to have a very much of a lion game.
Yeah.
I think the Falcons are going to be that. What? The Falcons 3-0? What? That's crazy. I love looking at narratives. They're going to say, but the Lions beat the Chiefs. They're not a bad team. I think if the Falcons get up, they make the Lions play their game, where the Falcons want to run it with Bijan, Algier, then I think the Falcons will end up winning this game.
That is their strong suit. Their strong suit is really holding on to that long possession time.
That's right.
Yeah, it really drains. It makes those games move by quick. Mm-hmm. So you got the scriptwriter getting the first twist in, huh? Lions,
is it the first
Lions
twist?
Start off hot and then they just go cold.
Sure.
That's kind of All right. So K-Dog has Lions.
Yeah.
Koop has Falcons. Right. I also have Falcons. So
nice. I feel like we've been kind of on a Falcons train a little bit. Me and you both.
I have Bijan, so I'm really drinking the Kool-Aid.
Against the Packers.
I am fully bought into Bijan.
It's interesting, though, because
he looks amazing.
At the beginning of the season, I know you picked the Chiefs, I believe, but you guys were both higher on the Lions than I was. Sure. Now I'm the one picking the Lions.
I picked the Lions last week.
True.
And they let me down.
True. That's fair.
That's right.
You don't want to.
But that's okay. Because the Hawks got the dub, baby.
Caveat here, I'm going to say this before, this next week plays. You do not have Montgomery. That's a fact.
If you lose Amon-Ra,
and Amon-Ra might be out. So, this Falcons defense isn't terrible at all.
No, they're not.
They're more, that's true. They're a better defense than I think the Lions have faced. So this could be a lot closer game than people anticipate.
Yeah, if Amon-Ra is out, then that's going to be a big thing to overcome for them.
Absolutely. Okay, another game that I think we have two kind of interesting storylines. Eagles, are they still that top 5 team that we think they are? And then they're playing the Bucks, the Baker Mayfield Bucks, baby. Who I have always been high on Baker as an elite passer. No, just kidding. He's not an elite passer, but he's good. He can keep you in the game.
You gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit for what he's done so far.
He's got a good deep ball. Yeah, he's been good.
That's his forte.
And you know what Jameis Winston used to do great? Other than throw interceptions, throw a great deep ball.
He's brought Mike Evans back from the dead.
Mike Evans is back.
Mike Evans
he's the Undertaker.
Never been dead. he's had a 1,000-yard season for the last 9 seasons.
I know, but last year he's a little more inconsistent.
Like fantasy-wide, very
I think
inconsistent.
people thought he was going to be dead, and then he's not dead, and that's why you think he's brought back.
That's fair. I hear you.
And Chris Godwin,
but he was kind of inconsistent last year.
Healthy seems to be. Great. I mean, it's hard to really say who's like the 1 or the 2 there. I don't really know.
I think it's Evans. Evans has always been the one.
I mean, I think they do two different things.
Yeah,
they do.
Like they complement each other very well.
But regardless, they're both fantastic. I don't even know who's the third guy there.
Trey Palmer, and then Jarrett. I think you have him on your dynasty.
Cade Otton. And the defense, sharp.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
really
one
good.
of the best front sevens in the league.
Held the Vikings week 1 to 17 points, and then week 2 they played. Why am I spacing on this? The Bears, and obliterated the Bears.
Here, I'm just gonna jump into my notes right here. I'm just gonna read you the paragraph I typed for this.
Okay.
Right? So this is my most anticipated game of the week because I think it's gonna be a great narrative. You got the Eagles D versus the Tampa O. Eagles defense, their secondary is very depleted right now. I think the only guy they got is who? Darius Slay.
He's good.
He's
slob.
Good. He's no slob. No, but I think Mike Evans makes him his little baby bitch.
Oh!
Somebody call 911.
I think, with what Mike Evans has been doing and what he's proven, last time they played in the playoffs, the Eagles versus the Eagles, Mike Evans went off.
The Eagles versus the Eagles?
Is that what I said? Buccaneers versus the Eagles. I'm sorry. Mike Evans went off. So I just think this is going to be a great matchup. Tampa D versus the Eagles O is going to be good.
Yeah.
Tampa's defense stops the run pretty well.
So you're not starting
I looked up the stats on this. The Eagles are number 1 against the run. The Buccaneers are number 2.
Wow.
Yeah, they are very good.
But the Eagles are the number 1 rushing offense as well.
I know. Well,
that's also because they went against those frauds, the Vikings.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I just think Baker. That's a good storyline too.
Is Bakey going to be doing a touchdown celebration on him?
So our Prophet Jay over here does this Baker Mayfield dance all the time. I don't know. Look it up. Where he's at Oklahoma. He does this nice little dance. He's goes whoop whoop.
You gotta get me drunk first.
Anyways, I think this Baker versus Jalen conversation, of course, Jalen should win.
Is better.
He was the better Oklahoma QB. He's the better NFL QB. But Jalen hasn't looked too great the past 2 weeks.
No. Outside of his rushing ability.
Yeah, outside of his rushing, he's thrown some sus balls.
Yeah, he threw an ugly interception last week against the Vikings. It was bad.
I think he threw it into 3 people, basically.
Yeah, it was bad.
And with how Jalen, he gets down to that 1-yard line, he gets pushed in, right?
Yeah.
Who has the number 2 run defense in the league?
I think we just said it was the Bucs.
Buccaneers. Yeah. So I don't think he's going to be able to get away with those little pushes.
And you know who they got? Former UW Vita Vea. And he's hungry. He's hungry, right. Baby.
So I just see this matchup. I see the Eagles almost losing to the Patriots, which I think is a very similar build to this Buccaneers team. On defense, they got a great defense, but I think the Buccaneers offense
is better.
They have more playmakers.
You got more playmakers. And then, the Vikings take them down to the wire. Vikings with a pretty good offense, but not a good defense. I just see the Buccaneers as a better all-around team.
Wow, than the Eagles.
A better all-around team.
No, sorry. Not better than the Eagles.
Somebody call
I'm not saying all-around better than the Eagles, than who the Eagles have played.
Okay.
This is the best team they've played.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
But that night, I think they will be the better team, and I think the Buccaneers are going to take it from the Eagles. It's going to be a nice narrative.
You just blowing from stupid town?
Bucks over the Eagles. I think it's going to be a fun little storyline.
I need to go after that. I'm actually going to clap with Koop. When I was doing my picks earlier today, I was looking at this game. I was like, you know what? Obviously, the Eagles are the obvious choice. But I was like, you know what? For some reason, I'll go into it more in detail. But I was like, I'm going to pick the Buccaneers here. I'm like, this is going to be a hot take. I can't wait to shock these guys. And then Koop comes on here. He steals my thunder.
I feel like you got to know that coming from me, though.
That's fair. Well, I didn't think
next to it.
That's true. I did see. I saw that shit. I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I'll echo. I think the Buccaneers' run defense matches up against the Eagles' strength of their rushing offense. So it's kind of strength versus strength. There, it's going to be interesting who wins the battle. But I think the Bucs will be able to limit that somewhat. Jalen Hurts, like we've said, has not looked as good as a passer so far this year. And then on the other side of the ball, the Buccaneers have those playmakers, those Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Mm-hmm. We've talked about earlier how the Eagles, their secondary hasn't looked very, very good. They have injuries. So I think it's just I think there's opportunity there. And the Buccaneers are at home. Right. I think there's opportunity there for the Buccaneers to, keep it close and steal a game.
It's just the perfect storm for an upset.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been able to kind of suss out some upsets throughout these 3 weeks, like the Detroit Lions, and then me and Prophet J over here, we got the Falcons over the Green Bay. I feel like that probably would have been one of the upsets.
That was a tight one, though. That was tight, but yeah.
This is the upset for me, and I think it holds a lot more weight. I mean, they're both 2-0 teams. One of these guys is going to be 3-0. The Eagles would be easy to say. Yeah, they're going to be 3-0, but to have the Buccaneers come out here 3-0 when people thought they'd be 0-3, that's a pretty good storyline for me.
It's hot. It's a hot take for both of you. I'm not going to lie. I do have one question.
Yeah.
And that's, do you feel more confident in a Rams upset or a Bucs upset?
Well, I don't even think the Rams is an upset, not going to lie.
I agree. I think that game's more even.
Vegas says. Okay, so you feel more confident.
Well, according to
Vegas, which most do, Rams are the underdog.
What are the odds?
They're the under Ram.
Okay, that is.
Oh, that was a good joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is the Bucs. You guys think the Bucs?
We got the Bucs.
As confident,
and I feel like you're gonna be like, and so do I.
I don't.
The Bucs are 5-point underdogs. The Rams are 2.5-point underdogs. So I don't even. Does Cincinnati even deserve 2.5 points?
No,
I don't know that they do.
No, not from what we've seen from both teams. No.
Okay. I'm going the Eagles here. I think y'all are crazy.
Go ahead. Hey, that's why you're 17 and.
It's cold. But you know what you guys are doing? This is close to equivalent of Bills v. Raiders.
Not at all. Because why would you say the Bills or the Raiders are going to beat the Bills? What did you have to back that up?
It was the downfall of the Bills.
That's all
they looked awful against the Jets.
We just gave you 4 different points of why the Buccaneers could beat the Eagles. You got the run defense against the running offense.
But with the Eagles, you can match
the depleted backfield against Evans and Godwin. You got Baker looking pretty good.
Okay.
So I'm saying, it might be the Geno Smith of the year.
The Eagles can match all of that.
Absolutely.
And then the only part that the Bucs don't match is the QB.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm Doctor Strange and I'm I look at all the possible futures, I'm saying probably 10 out of 15 times the Eagles win this. But in this universe, it's one of those 5.
Well, this is a dark universe then, because that is not happening. Kiddo, what were you gonna say?
Honestly, I forgot.
He forgot.
We can move on. I don't want to. Koop just went off right there. He's feeling high about it. I'm picking the Bucs. I feel good about him. I don't want to talk too much in case the Eagles win by 20.
Hey, and you know what? If they do, then yes, he's going to be right. But if they don't, then I'm very much right, you know?
True. You can't really lose.
It's binary to me.
It's lower stakes to you, right? It's kind of like, oh, I got it wrong. It's
low risk.
It's not really.
You see if you get it right, then you look like a god.
You see how passionate I am about it. Of course, it's high stakes to me.
Wow. You know, I used to be the biggest Baker Mayfield stan. You guys both shit on him all the time.
I'm a Mike Evans stan because he's on 2 of my fantasy teams. All right.
I'm a Godwin fan.
I'm the guy who does the Baker Mayfield dance. I'm gonna be Baker Mayfield for Halloween this year. All right. That was the last game that we'll discuss about week 3. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with our picks for the rest of the ones that we haven't talked about yet. Welcome back, Shmokers. All right, we're getting back into our final week 3 games. We're just going to tell you the team we got, who's going to win, who's going to beat the other. All right.
You just said the same thing like 3 times.
I was just trying to make it more dramatic, and it just sucked more and more time. I was like,
there was a lot of drama there.
Yeah, you got caught in
it all out. We lost.
Okay, see, it worked for some people, dude.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Jared's always killing
Let's get in.
He's killing boners,
Who?
dude. You kill boners.
All right.
Koop kills boners. All right. K-Dog, who you got? Titans or Browns?
Titans.
Browns.
I got the Titans. So that's 2 for the Titans, 1 for the Browns. Broncos, Dolphins. You guys got the Broncos, right?
Dolphins.
Okay. I got the Dolphins as well. Patriots v Jets. Battles of the good defense and the bad offense.
Patriots.
Yeah, also Patriots.
Wow. Patriots. We're as cold as ice. All right, how about this one? Bills versus Commanders. This could be an upset.
This is more of an interesting game.
A little closer
to talk about, but I'm just gonna say Bills here. I don't think Commanders have really played a team. Broncos ain't shit. Bills are gonna be the
Broncos ain't shit.
A way better team to play against. Than
hey, how about the new Fail Mary?
Stand. Who?
Fail Mary. The new Fail Mary.
Oh, come on. Well, I mean, that was successful.
I mean, yes, but so was the Fail Mary.
All right, whatever.
True.
It's a fail because they didn't get the 2-point.
I got the Bills as well, but I do think the Commanders are a little sneaky.
Yeah.
Could be like a dark horse.
Sure.
This week. I got the Bills too. All right, Jags, Texans.
Jags.
I got the Jags. Colts, Ravens.
Easy, Ravens.
Even if are you assuming Anthony Richardson's back?
Yes, that's fine.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, doesn't matter. I got the Ravens as well. All right, Chiefs, Bears. Does Justin Fields have his bounce back?
Chiefs.
Absolutely not.
Chiefs.
Okay, I have the Chiefs as well. Wow, we've agreed on every single one.
Yeah,
this is kind of sad.
That's fine.
Shmokers.
There's just not as many good games this week.
Just go. We're gonna go do a parlay on all of these ones that we disagree on.
We're going for 16.
We'll win probably $50 on $100.
Yeah. All right, how about Cowboys versus Cardinals?
This was interesting. I got the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean the best team in the league against the worst team in the league. I got the
Josh
Cowboys.
Dobbs is gonna.
Wait, they're playing the Giants again?
Okay. Poor Giants. They're getting slandered. Watch the Giants beat the Niners. And then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to be like,
crazy.
I don't know why you're such a Giants fan, dog.
You know why.
I think we have an idea.
Okay, I got the Cowboys as well.
Blink if you're being held hostage. He blinked.
That should be it. I think that's all of the games. I don't think I'm missing any. So, we'll see. Shmokers, feel free to let us know what your picks are for the game. And maybe keep track of yours own, and you can compare to us. We'll see. Yours own. That didn't make sense.
Is that a new word?
Yours own.
I think that's just one word. But
right. Okay, let's move on to our final segment of the pod.
Wah, wah, wah.
And we're going to do a continuation of what we did last week. We're going to do our top teams, but instead of 5, Shmokers, we're giving you 10. And we're not going to throw too much explanation into it because I'm sure if we have them on our top 10, we've talked about this team already in this podcast, and you probably already have heard why they're in the position they are. All right, who wants to start us off?
All right, I think K-Dog needs to start out because it's just our guy to start out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. At number 10, I'm starting out with maybe a controversial one with the Bengals.
Wow.
They have not performed this.
Wow.
They have not.
Oh.
Obviously.
Oh.
We can pause for the. We can pause for the soundboard.
Hit the
pause
stupid
for the
sound.
soundboard.
Play them all at once.
Look,
Go ahead.
obviously, they don't deserve this based on the way they played the first 2 games.
Dear God.
But I don't want to look back when the Bengals are, contending for the Super Bowl later this year. Like, I still think they will, and be like, wow, I didn't even have them in my top 10.
Right. Okay. Well, after 2 weeks, okay, I'm gonna jump in here because I don't think Kyle has any more, or K-Dog has any more to say.
Everyone else, they're like, turn off the podcast. They're like, fuck
come
this
back.
guy.
I'm gonna speak some more sanity into your life. I don't even have
Just wait until you guys put them in next week.
I do not have them in my top 15.
And if they beat the Rams, I still don't think I have them in.
Well, we'll get to the Rams, but in my top 10, we're gonna start out with the Buccaneers.
Oh,
so
Brody. Baker Mayfield. You're just copying what I did. I put Baker Mayfield top 10.
That's fine.
This guy.
I think what I'm looking at is the past 2 weeks, how these teams have performed and who they can beat below them. That's how I'm doing these rankings. I think the Buccaneers can easily beat the 22 other teams below them, and I think they have a chance to beat one of the 9 teams ahead of them. Buccaneers have looked great on defense. Offense is looking good. Baker Mayfield
Mayfield?
Whatever. Keep baking, dude. I have never been your biggest fan, and I think you're doing a good job. So I got them at 10. How about you?
I don't have Baker Mayfield at 10, despite what I put down earlier. I got him at 1. No, I'm kidding. For my honorable mention, I have the NFC South. That was my honorable mention. So that's
like all of them?
Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers.
Just like any.
So they're
pick
at
one.
they're like 13,
11,
12, 11.
13.
Just whatever you want. Interesting.
Patriots are also an honorable mention.
Okay.
I really wanted to put the Patriots
not
as
even
an
close.
0-2 in my top 10, but I couldn't.
Not even close to that high.
And I already talked about why. They played 2 good teams. For my number 10, this is kind of where I expected this team to be starting the season. They let me down week 1. And then they came back and gave me hope again.
You got the
That's
Hawks.
the Seahawks.
You got the Hawks. That's fair.
And I really didn't want to do this because I felt like a homer pick, because also the NFC South has looked great. But the Hawks beating the Lions, which if the Lions won that game, I would have had them in this 10 spot. Mm-hmm. But offense clicked, defense improved. Defense is always slow for the Seahawks for some reason. And we kept up with the Lions, who I think have a very good chance of winning this NFC North. Got them at 10.
Cool.
My number 9, I got the Rams. And, I feel like you could make an argument for them being even higher than that.
Really?
Okay.
I might.
Really?
Later.
You got it 9.
At number 9, I got the Seahawks. Kind of everything Prophet Jay talked about. I mean, our offense came back out and said, hey, this is what we look like. I think they played a team week 1 in the Rams that surprised the hell out of everybody. And you're going to be hearing about them later from me. And I, like I said, this is just how I rank these teams. They can beat the people below them. I still think they're beating the Bucs. And then everybody above them is just, there's a little bit better. I think the Seahawks, they can definitely prove me wrong going forward if their defense kind of steps up, stops the run a lot better. We're going to get Adams back. I think Woolen's out right now. He's not going to be playing Sunday. So.
And let's hope our O-line can keep performing.
And if our O-line, plays well, Kenneth Walker looks great. So I think we're a top 10 team.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I agree. Similar to K-Dog, I got the Rams at 9 as well.
Nice.
So I thought genuinely that you guys would be a little surprised that I was putting the Rams.
I kind of thought that too when I was in.
And so that's why I was a little excited.
So we're all
when I was texting you guys, I was like, fuck, this is tough. I was also
Yeah.
really excited because I'm like, oh, I'm going to do Rams top 10. They're going to be like, yeah. And then they're like, it's cold.
We were all on the same page about the Rams.
But I think we're cold as a group, but we're hot relative to the NFL world right now. I don't think many people are putting Rams in top 10. Like I was saying earlier,
I don't know, man.
I think before the pod, someone had them ranked at them like 24.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's too low.
Yeah,
it's too low.
I think they lost credibility.
Yeah, I mean this team is firing on all cylinders without Cooper Kupp.
Right?
Come on, people. He's when he's healthy, he's like a top 2 wide receiver in this league. Top
Absolutely.
3.
Mm-hmm. And you got Puka Nacua is doing exactly the same thing.
They look like they could have a legitimate top 10 wide receiver core. If Cooper comes,
absolutely, which none of us had even sniffed.
Not even sniffed.
That's a good. I like that. That's a good.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah. So that's a real possibility. Running game looks decent enough to keep them going. Rams at 9.
Nice.
Yeah, I got Bills at number 8. I think they're definitely a top 10 team. They had a strong performance last week, but I don't feel comfortable having them higher than this as blowing out the Raiders. That doesn't make me forget what happened week 1. Right?
Yeah, I got Bills actually at 8 too. Like you said, lose to the Jets week 1 to a Zach Wilson Jets. Aaron Rodgers played how many snaps? 4. And then he had 1 snap and he had to go. So Bills, we're all calling for their downfall. We all said they're stanky. Josh Allen throwing a lot of picks. He looked like Superman.
Did he throw any picks this last game?
No, he looked like Superman, but he's playing the Raiders. They're a high-powered offense with a good defense, and sometimes they get exposed, but they're still worth a number 8 ranking to me because of that offense, what it can do, and that defense is still pretty legit.
Wow. So I got the Bills the highest because I don't got them right here.
Sure.
But they're on my list.
Nice.
So I have the Jaguars.
Wow, that's really high, dude.
I thought didn't seem that unreasonable, to be honest. They played the offense. The offense just disappeared against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs' defense are better than a lot of people give them credit for, as I've said many times. Mm-hmm. However, I do believe in the Jaguars' offense to have a bounce back in these future games. The wide receiver core is proving to be better and better because I think there was a lot of doubts after week 1 about Christian Kirk.
Right. He
kind of disappeared. And now he had a resurgence, although that was to, that did hurt Ridley and Zay Jones in the process. But we can see that all 3 guys can do it. This isn't fantasy. We're not ranking this list on fantasy value. We're ranking it on NFL teams. And if these guys have one of those guys that can carry in an offense, that's all. It seems like that's all they need to do to win.
Yeah, I
guess they need both. They need 2 guys to get it going.
Yeah, but I can see the case for it. They look good. I think Trevor Lawrence was about 3 inches away from having 2 other touchdowns, basically, if you add them all up. And they beat the Chiefs, in that case. So I can see what you're saying. Evan Ingram looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I think they have a relatively good defense. Holding the Chiefs to 17, I think, is decent.
Coop, did you leave them off your top 10?
I left them off my top 15, actually.
Wow. Top 15?
Wow.
Part of it was just because... part of it was because I kind of forgot about them, but also part of it is you've still got the Saints who are 2-0. You still got the Falcons who are 2-0. You got the Vikings who are a good team.
Yeah.
You got the Chargers.
A lot of good 0-2 teams.
Yeah.
You got the Lions. So that's what those are my.
Do you think all those teams beat the Jaguars?
I think they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're cold on
So
it.
Jaguars have fallen off for you. Maybe they were never as high as.
I thought Trevor Lawrence would be a better quarterback than he's showing. But I'm also, like I said, 3 inches away from thinking, hey, this guy looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Did they fall for you after the Colts win? After they beat the Colts, did they not perform as to what
I wouldn't
you
say
expected?
they fell off as much as the 5 teams above them pushed them off.
Okay. Fair. Totally fair. Okay. All right, let's move on. 7.
I got the Ravens at 7. I think this is a good spot for them. We talked about them earlier. The dangerous offense with Lamar, very well coached. Going into Cincinnati, beating them, it was impressive. I think it's a good spot for them. I need to see them beat, maybe some more top teams to put them higher. But
didn't you put the Bengals at 10?
I did, yes.
Didn't they beat the Bengals?
They did, yes.
All right, there you go.
I just said it was an impressive win, but I'm talking I need to see, can the Ravens beat maybe some of these teams I have higher than them?
Did they play these teams?
They just might. I don't know.
All right.
I don't have every game.
Because I got the Chiefs at 7.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be a little Shmokin Hot Takes.
It's pretty low. It's pretty low.
Like I said earlier, I don't see this Chiefs team being the Super Bowl team they were last year. I think they're getting a little exposed at their wide receiver core. If you take away Kelsey, who are they going to throw to? Kadarius Toney? By the way, that dude is crazy in open space. But
But he has a hard time getting it to him in the first place.
He had a bit of a bounce back game.
He had a little bit of a bounce back.
I think he had like 3 catches.
My Chiefs are still at number 7. That's 7 out of 32.
And that's all because of Patrick Mahomes.
That's all out of
a lot because of
and
Patrick
a defense
Mahomes. and a good defense. So, of course, they beat the Bills. Of course, they beat probably the Seahawks. As much as I'm a homer, but they actually definitely beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Buccaneers. But they're not going to beat my next 6 teams. That's
all right.
Why I'm at 7.
Okay, I have the Ravens at 7, as well as K-Dog. I wish I could put him higher. I feel like if Lamar Jackson was better, I'd put him higher. 7's still a respectable spot, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think it's kind of where they belong.
I think it's where they belong. They just feel more. I feel more confident and secure about them than like I do the NFC South, and that's and like
yes,
and like
they're 2-0. I know, like I think.
The NFC South teams could beat. I feel like some of them.
A kid raised by wolves could walk into here and say the same thing.
Okay, all right. Who you got for 6?
Well, we just were kind of talking about them. I didn't really respond because I was waiting, but I got the Jaguars at 6.
Jesus, you guys.
6? I do.
Oh,
I do.
Man.
They beat the Colts week 1, and they just lost to the Super Bowl champion Chiefs in a tough game that you even said.
You just said they beat the Colts week 1 like that was some shining achievement.
The Colts don't look that bad.
They beat them handily though. Like it wasn't a close game. They play a tough fight with the Super Bowl champions.
All right.
I just think yes. Do they look as good as I had maybe thought they would at this point? Maybe I thought that offense would be a little more electric.
Fair.
But I still think they have that potential, and I like them here at 6.
Okay. Fine. My 6. I got the Rams.
Oh dear God, that's so high.
That's high,
dude.
I know. You guys were saying 9's high. Oh man, I thought we were gonna have the hottest takes.
No.
I got them at 6, 6-9, baby. Nice. The
You're
Rams
saying
at 6
that for the people. You're saying it for the shock value.
I have it because I think they're that team. Okay. Spoiler: 49ers are my best team. The Rams took them down to the wire. They throttled the Seahawks, who are my number 9 team. Of course, the Rams are going to be high.
Perhaps the Seahawks at number 9 is a bit high.
It could be high, sure, whatever. But I think the Rams have shown they've got a good offense. They've got a good defense. They can beat the Chiefs. They could beat the Bills. They could beat the Seahawks. They can beat the Bucks. That's why I got them at 6. They're a team that's going to put up a harder fight than a lot of people thought.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, I got the Bills at 6.
That's pretty high.
Josh Allen and the Bills. And I've been down on them all this year.
Yeah, that surprises me.
But I think, and what I've been calling for, Josh Allen must have listened to this podcast because what I've been calling for, he listened. He listened to the prophet. He said, I should use my other weapons because they're good players. And guess what happens? The offense looked good. Yeah. And they score a lot of points. And yes, the Raiders defense sucks. But 38 points is a lot of points to put up on any defense in the NFL. And I believe that...
I think James Cook had like 2 of those.
He did.
2 of those touchdowns.
James Cook looks great. Gabe Davis looked good. Stephon Diggs was like the least used piece of this offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which...
He still had a solid game, but not anything crazy.
And I just think that we might have seen a little bit of a formula for how these games might go in the future. 5, K-Dog.
5, I got the Dolphins. And I think you could make a good argument for them being higher than this. Sure. I think maybe you guys have them higher than this. We'll see. But, that offense is amazing, obviously. But at the end of they've won 2 close games against good opponents, sure. The Chargers, although the Chargers did just lose to the Titans. I don't know. I guess what I worry about, that offense is maybe the best in the league. But I worry about the defense. They gave up a lot of points to the Chargers.
Right.
They had a close game with the Patriots, so that's why I got them at 5.
I'll jump in. 5, I got the Dolphins as well. I think you put them this high because that offense is so good. And I think...
defense looks better against
the
Patriots.
But I think the Dolphins win because their offense outpaces the other team's offense.
Right.
Dolphins can score in seconds.
Yeah, the Dolphins' defense isn't top of the league, I wouldn't say.
No.
It's just that their offense just keeps clapping back every single time, and they're going to clap back the hardest at the end of the game, and they're going to win the game. So that's why I got them at 5.
All right, I got the Chiefs at 5. I got the Dolphins higher. I'm waiting to talk about the Dolphins.
Oh,
yeah. Don't give me that stanky look.
I gave him a stanky look.
No, I got the Chiefs at 5. Offense, I believe, will improve with the health of Kelsey also improving.
Yeah.
I think he clearly showed that he still wasn't super present. I don't think I saw him on all that many routes. And he just, compared to what we've seen from Kelsey in the past, he just looked a little slower. Looked a little...
That's why I called for his downfall a little bit.
Yeah, but he's not at 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's also dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So that's going to mess up his mind a little bit.
Yeah. He's also got his own show now, right? Kelsey or something. So maybe he's got a curse going on. Maybe the whole team's cursed.
I don't know, man.
All right, Chiefs at 5.
I got Chiefs at 4. I mean, they've had kind of a slow start to the season. We've seen this before with the wide receivers. But just out of respect for what they've been so consistent. I mean, ever since Patrick Mahomes has been there, and they're gonna at the end of the year they're gonna be one of the top teams in the league, and I gotta have them at 4.
I don't understand the Chiefs that high. They just don't look as good as the last few years. Like, you gotta live now, not in the past. Like, at 4, I got the Ravens here. The Ravens beat the Chiefs.
That's hot.
9 times out of 10. Because I think
I disagree with that.
That's fine.
Okay, wow. Vehemently disagree.
Well, no wonder. I mean,
I will place a bet on that.
Okay,
$100,000.
I don't even bet on that. All I'm saying is, the Ravens have a good enough offense to put up enough points against the Chiefs defense. The Ravens defense looks pretty dang good, and I don't think the Chiefs offense looks good enough to even compete with that.
I think the Ravens have both a worse offense and defense compared to the Chiefs.
I agree.
You agree? How do you even agree with that? You have a healthy tight end. That's bad.
Like the way
you have good receivers.
If I recall, Mark said he would play by like the grace of God.
He never said that. I hate that quote.
You
can say, never actually said
you can compare. You can compare the skill positions, whatever. At the end of the day, it's Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson. Like, the way I look at it, as far as the Chiefs, why I have them so high? Yes, have they looked great to start the year?
Has Mahomes looked as great as he has been?
But think about. I'm looking at sample size. We have 2 games this year versus 100 games he's played. Not 100, but his entire career, which is the opposite of that. I'm not going to judge them that much off of these first 2 games when we've seen the opposite.
Okay,
so
Kelsey's
much.
Obviously not 100%. His receiving core is not that great. He beat a Jags team that I don't think is that great, and he lost to the Lions.
Right. Well,
this is 2 weeks in. This is the 3rd week. It's not the 15th week when they're fully healthy and Patrick Mahomes has his team clicking. This is how I do my rankings going into the 3rd week. The Ravens right now beat the Chiefs.
No, wrong.
I disagree.
Wrong. All right. Who's your 4?
That's silly. The Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens. That's right. Yeah, they're so bad I forgot who it was. All right. I got the Eagles at 4.
Wow.
I think 4 is a respectable spot, but like as Koop kind of alluded to earlier, they have shown some weaknesses. Like down the field.
Talking about the Eagles?
Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah, down the field, like they're getting exposed a little bit. Offense isn't clicking as much as we would love it to. And until they improve that, I have a hard time moving them past 4.
Yeah. First, I have one last thing to say on the Chiefs. I was just going to say, I think we're going to be, that debate we just had, I think that's going to go on for a while. Because I saw I heard on a podcast this morning that in the Chiefs' next 6 games, the opponents are combined 1-11.
Oh, good.
So we're not going to be impressed by those wins. I think this debate will continue. Going into number 3, though, you just mentioned the Eagles. I have the Eagles at 3, so we're just a little bit off here. You're gonna have the Dolphins at 3. It sounds like
you think maybe.
Eagles at 3. They deserve this because the strength of their rushing offense and rushing defense. They're number 1 in the league, and that's gonna win you a lot of games. The reason I have it at 3 is just because they just haven't looked like that Eagles team we expected from what we saw last year.
Mm-hmm. You have them at 3?
I do.
Yeah, I got the Eagles still at 3. I think I had them there last week. They're a good team. They were just at the Super Bowl. I still got them at the Super Bowl this year.
Wow, you're really excited about the Eagles.
Well, they're pretty boring because
they're good.
They're good.
So even with them losing to the Bucs, which you called, you still have them at 3.
This is the past 2 weeks going into the next game.
So you're projecting to drop them.
You're gonna have to drop them.
I know. I will. Right. I know. I have the Bucs.
My
number 10 team beating the Eagles. If the Bucs beat the Eagles, I might have them at like 6.
Oh, wow.
I mean, would you not? If they were 3-0, they'd beat the Vikings, the Browns, and the Eagles. You wouldn't have them at 6.
Yeah, we'll see.
I know you.
I'm gonna choose not to answer.
I will be
question.
watching. When is this game? Is this Monday?
It's Monday night.
I will be watching this game very intently.
I got the Eagles at 3. Very boring. They just need to tighten some things up to be back in that 2-1 conversation.
Okay. All right. I got the Dolphins at 3, as K-Dog predicted. I think if the Dolphins and the Eagles played, the Dolphins would light them on fire.
Not even.
I think Tyreek would.
Like to see, they play each other this year.
I think Tyreek would get. I'm calling for a 200-yard game in that, but they're not playing each other.
But
this
I think
week,
the
so
Eagles
matter.
would pop off too.
I mean, it's definitely be a shootout. I think the Dolphins' offense has been great. Defense has improved. People give a lot of shit to the Patriots, and I think they're debatably top 10 team. Top 15 team.
The Patriots are a top 10 team?
I like the Patriots.
You had them at 10? I didn't know that.
No, I had the Hawks at 10. But they were my honorable mention.
Okay.
And so the Dolphins have had 2 quality wins against the Chargers and the Patriots. I mean, both 0-2, but both good teams in my opinion. So Dolphins at 3.
All right.
Nice.
Well, my number 2, after completely dismantling and embarrassing the city of New York after 2 weeks, or more accurately, I think it's East Rutherford, New Jersey. I got the Cowboys.
The boys.
I got the boys. They lead the league in points per game. They lead the league in points allowed per game through 2 weeks.
Do they lead in turnovers?
Yes, they do.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I looked it up today. They're I think the Bucs might have 6, but the Cowboys have 7.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, I got the Cowboys at 2. Enough said, basically. Moving forward, they've played trash teams so far. So if they want to stick around too, they got to play a good team and they got to show us what they can actually do. But for now, you got number 2.
Okay. I actually have the 49ers.
Wow.
At 2.
Wow.
I think. Hold on. I think Prophet K is a bigger horn dog for these Cowboys.
Prophet J.
Or sorry, what did I say?
You said K.
You said Prophet K.
Sorry, Prophet J.
Talking about yourself? Are you a horn dog for the boys?
No.
Dude,
then our resident Homer.
It's
Cowboy
hard.
fan.
It's hard not to like what you're seeing.
Right.
Like this is a great time to be a Cowboys fan. I wish the Seahawks had.
This is like Legion of Boone.
I wish we had a Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
we don't have a pass rusher like that. Like he is so fun every defensive snap to watch, and because he can just blow up a quarterback in half a second. It seems like,
and he just goes anywhere on the field too. He
always plays safety.
Not yet. Not yet.
So just to quickly talk about why I put the 49ers at 2 was just because the Rams took them a lot further than I thought they were going to do. And that's not maybe to say that the Rams aren't a good team. I think they are a quality team. Just that I think the Cowboys shown that there is some level of separation between them and the Niners where I think the offense for the Cowboys is a little better than what the Niners offer. And I think the defenses are pretty evenly matched where even just that little separator from what the Cowboys' offensive weapons are just makes them kind of have that slight edge in between the top 2 teams.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that the Cowboys give up 300 yards passing to Matt Stafford like the 49ers just did this past week. But I do have the 49ers at 1. I mean, they're 49ers and Cowboys just look very, very complete.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys really have shown no weaknesses through 2 weeks. Obviously, that will not continue the rest of the year. But I can't put them above the 49ers just based. I mean, the 49ers have beat us last 2 years in the playoffs. Yeah. Have had stronger opponents.
I think it's just Dak not turning over the ball. That's the key in that matchup that happens. If Dak doesn't turn over a bunch, I think the Cowboys win.
I agree. If Dak does enough to score some points, like the Cowboys defense will keep him in the game. Yeah. I'm just looking forward to week 5. Cowboys Niners on Sunday night.
That's gonna be a great game.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not a Chiefs.
There's a good
matchup.
chance. There's a good chance with both of them have easy schedules until then. There's a good chance they'll both be 4-0.
Yeah.
That'll be a really good game.
Are you getting hammered if the boys win?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll probably call off sick for Monday and Tuesday.
Wait, what game of the week is that?
What do you mean?
Like, is it Sunday night?
Yeah, it's Sunday night.
Oh, it is Sunday night.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I got the Niners at number 1. They played 2 better teams than the Cowboys have, so that's why I got them at 1. You know, I got the Rams at 6 because they put up that many points on these Niners. I think Rams could do something similar to Cowboys, but now that we're talking about it, it would be kind of scary seeing, Parsons going against the Rams. I agree. But I just still see the 49ers at that number 1 spot. And what's kind of interesting, I think last year you could say the AFC was the stronger conference.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen kind of a switch a little bit. Our top 2 teams are both, at least my top 3 are all NFC.
Yeah. NFC is very top heavy. And this is what I talked about this earlier. This is where I was saying that there's like 2 tiers in the NFC. There's 1, 2, 3, 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles. I just see us so far above. Not so far, but a good amount above everyone below them in the NFC.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, I think the Seahawks, Rams, they can maybe knock on the door.
Lions,
but yeah, these teams, like 9 out of 10 times, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles are winning any matchup against anyone in a different tier below, in my opinion. I agree with that. And I have the boys at 1, so we already talked about the boys enough, but
I appreciate it.
That's our top 10. K-Dog is living in his heaven right now, where the boys are clowning on people, but
sure,
you haven't really had a.
I mean, what week are the Hawks playing? The Cowboys.
Quite a while. I think it's the week after Thanksgiving.
That'll be a good game.
I'm curious to see where we are all at.
I'm sure many things will change until then. So
yeah.
Well, folks, that'll do it for today's episode. We went through week 2, week 3 picks, and we gave you our fraud or gods and top 10. A lot of content covered. They're gonna eat this episode.
That's right. And look forward to a new segment that we've already covered last week. It's just a new episode. C-Dub's Locks. We'll be releasing that after this episode on Friday.
So 2 back-to-back.
Look for that one.
Yeah,
he's got some gambling tips. He's gonna make you a millionaire.
Yeah, you'd be losing money not to do that.
It's almost like we're sponsored by a sports betting platform. DraftKings, if you're listening, give us some money.
People use DraftKings.
We need a studio.
I feel like, bet at your own risk, guys.
We need a studio.
We use C-Dub's Lock app on Facebook. Not Facebook.
Oh, dear God.
On Play Store and Apple Store.
We're not responsible for any losses. It's just our best advice.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get out of here. Thanks for listening. Make sure to rate, follow, hit the bell. Hit the bell to get notified on Spotify. Right. Help us boost up our rating. We're at 4.8. Looking pretty good.
4.8 with 15 ratings right now.
15 ratings.
Keep it going.
Hey, be one of the first 100.
Just remember, if you don't like and follow, then your team's gonna lose.
K-Dog's gonna come after you.
All right. Any last words before we bounce?
I'm looking forward to exciting week 3.
Got some particularly fun matchups. Yeah.
Go Bucks over the Eagles.
Yeah, some exciting ones. I mean, we picked some good upsets. I'm excited to watch those and talk about them next week.
All right. Go Cards, baby. All right. We'll catch y'all next week.
See ya.